Okay, and we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the 10th episode of Is This Thing On? Can you believe we're at 10 episodes already?
Double figures. How cool is that?
Figures. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. I can't believe it. So hopefully, people can make it tonight. We're doing it a week early this week, but we'll all have to accommodate different schedules. I'm the worst, but we have a special guest tonight, so that's why we're doing it tonight. Should we?
Yeah.
Drum roll. You're the musician. You got the drum roll. Here we go.
Well, that sounded more like I was slapping a bath water or something. But yeah. Anyway.
Ta-da! Sorry. I guess tonight is Chaz from the Bookish Chaz. There we go. So we're very excited Chaz could join us tonight. We always have like, we're very technically challenged here, as I think you know, Chaz. So we're always but let me get the
very, very exciting.
Let's see. Here we go. Okay. All right. Okay, yeah. We got a bunch of people here already. Let's say hi real quick. So our producer is here, Jenny.
Yeah.
I posted I posted earlier today. I posted the announcement, for the link for the show tonight. And Jenny left a comment. She's like, "Can I come?" I don't think the show goes on without Jenny.
Yeah.
Right.
And we will have her actually live on screen, won't we, one day?
Yeah. Well, and actually, her thing is coming up, right? She has one coming, not with us, but she has one.
Yeah, with Sean. We can't even do it with Sean's big reveal, because obviously, as I keep saying, that's when we find out she's a man. But
I put it in my calendar because I don't want to miss it. But
I can't wait.
Remind us again, Jenny, when that is. I think it's coming up.
I've got a feeling that Sean's going to be a bit speechless, I reckon. I think Jenny's going to be all over it.
Yeah. Hey, Al. So Al's just back on his. I took a little hiatus on his channel, but he's back again. Glad to see that.
That's awesome.
Look at Chaz is in the chat. Multi-talented.
Oh, wow. That's clever.
Erie's here. Hi, Erie.
There's a button here that says chat, but I'm scared to press it, so I'm not going to press it in case I lose the entire stream. So,
and how did you find out? Oh, that she's a man. That's right. I think that's what she's asking.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Heidi's here. It's
Heidi.
Hockey playoff night here in New York, so we'll be in there. Oh, okay.
Nice. Hockey.
I think Heidi's becoming my most frequent commentator on my videos now, which is very cool. So thanks, Heidi.
Oh, I didn't remember that Heidi. I don't know if I ever knew that Heidi was in New York, so we're not that far from each other. Okay, not this Sunday, but next, the 19th. So Jenny's grand entrance into the live community is the 19th.
Her grand debut.
Awesome.
Pat's here. Hi, Pat. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, Into the Heart Wild.
Nice.
Yeah, check her out if you haven't yet, guys. Her channel is awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know of the channel. That's why I stuttered there for a minute.
Really nice to meet you. You have to tell us your actual name if you do that, if you reveal your name. Then we got a couple of friends on here that don't say their actual name. But if you're up for it, that'd be nice to find out what you're actually called. Because it'd be weird to keep going, hello, Into the Heart Wild, and you're like a little bit
otherwise
personal, mate.
We just do stuff like we start calling you Heart Wild. Like our guest last week, Rumpus.
Yeah, Rumpy.
Rumpy. You wanted to call him Rumpelstein, right?
Well, Rumpelstiltskin, I called him at one point in our chat.
Rumpelstiltskin, that's what it was. Yeah. Hold on, I want to just subscribe.
He's not here, so you can't really talk about him like he's not here because he's not here.
He's probably
awesome,
here.
Though. Check out our last one, eh?
Into the Heart
Wild. That's an awesome name for a channel. And the Wild is spelled like Wild in Kings of the Wild, which is such a brilliant book.
Yeah.
Have you read that, Chaz?
I have. Yeah, Kings of the Wild is a fantastic book, and I think that's actually where she gets her channel name. Yeah.
Oh, great. Love it. So in that case, I definitely relate to that. I actually like the second book more, which I didn't expect.
Kings of the Wild.
Hey,
I haven't read
Say that
Blood and
again?
Rose yet.
yeah, I loved the first one so much that I didn't expect to like the second one more, but I did. I was like, something about the characters drew me in more. But I love the way he writes. I can't wait for the third one.
Oh,
Who was that again?
That was
Nicholas Ames.
yeah, Nicholas Eames.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, definitely recommend it, Dave. It's so good.
Alyssa. Okay. Well, nice to meet you, Alyssa. Just sub to your channel.
Hey, Fred.
Looking forward to
Awesome.
checking
Yeah,
it out.
well.
Hey,
I might be
Fred.
able to do it while we're chatting.
I'm in Rockland, north of the
I mean, I might
city.
just watch a film while we're chatting. Do you know what I mean?
Why don't you just pull up, watch Time Bandits for the 80th time? You know,
Actually, I'm not going to do much. It's got 1% on it, so that's not happening, is it?
Oh.
But I might have time to join Into the Heart Wild. So that's Alyssa, right? Awesome.
Alyssa.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Elaine.
So just tune into our chat just to get us to subscribe to you, and then bugger off. You can do that if you want.
Yeah, that's cool
We don't
too.
mind.
Jess is here. I have a question. Do you ever get scared by drinking coffee on a live stream because possibly a poop attack?
What? Did you ever get scared drinking coffee? Scared by drinking coffee?
Only Jess. Only
Poop
Jess.
attack. Is that like a massive poo comes and attacks you?
Wait,
Sorry?
give me a minute while I visit the loo.
Yeah. I mean, we go so long. We usually have to visit the Louvre anyway, but not.
Yeah, sometimes.
Not for that.
Yeah.
Well, you drink tea, right, Gareth? So you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't. That doesn't make me want to poo. It sometimes makes me want to wee.
Oh, tea will do
I've
it
got
too, though. I drink tea as well.
There we go. That's why I love him.
All right, let's just catch
That's
up.
where
I
I
was
can
born in England.
If anyone on this thread hasn't read Kings of the Wild, it's such a good book. I did a video on it actually. I might have done a video on both of them. I think I might have done a video on both of them. But yeah, really easy to talk about because they're so good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I've seen it.
yeah, definitely. If you like classic rock, it's priceless.
But it's just a really easy read. It's like fantasy, but there's a lot of energy to it, and it's like there's a real I think it's quite an upbeat book, even though it's about mercenaries killing people. You know.
Oh yeah,
It's cool.
All right, let's just. I'm watching this thing on chat, so I cannot
Who
watch
needs
news
the news?
anymore.
Who needs the news?
Wow, watching the old live shows.
We'll have to put some news items in it, so for people who don't watch the news.
Yeah, right. We could be like John. Do you have Jon Stewart over there?
I love Jon Stewart.
Yeah,
I love Jon Stewart. He's gone back to the Daily Show, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right, I heard he was. That's great. He's awesome.
That
was the great thing about him because he actually, even though it was a comedy show, like a large, at least in America, I don't know, but a lot of the population actually were getting their news from him because it was actually also very news heavy, you know. So that's what we got to do. We got to put little bits of news in here so people that are.
We can just summarize. We can just say there's lots of hate and violence around the world. Hey, just keep cheery. Just do that. What cracks me up about Jon Stewart as well, because I love what he does. I love his delivery, and just also it's so good that he's gone back. But I just think it's hilarious that he's been this great political commentator, and he started as just a VJ on MTV, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was how he started.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s. Amazing.
Yeah. All right. So before we got through most of the highs, so maybe be a good time to let Chaz. Chaz, you want to introduce yourself to everybody? Tell them about your channel and what you like to talk about and all that jazz.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Chaz. My channel is Bookish Chaz, and I talk about fantasy, sci-fi, mystery, horror, a little bit of horror, some nonfiction as well. But I read pretty broadly and do book reviews and other book-related content. Occasionally a movie review if it's related to a book. And I just get wild and weird pretty much all the time. So
So I had a Chaz's, for those that don't know his channel, his icon is like a little dragon because he's always talking to his fellow book dragons. And I was like Russian, so I didn't change before I came out. But I was actually gonna wear for you. I have a T-shirt that's like, why be a bookworm when you could be a book dragon?
I was
gonna wear it for you.
Yeah,
I like that.
In fact, Jenny's calling me a liar here in the chat. She's like, "You talk about dragons." I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
Got Spy vs. Spy T-shirt on.
Ooh, I love that. I used to play that game all the time. Spy vs. Spy is awesome.
Yeah, Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
When is it? When I'm going to do it in the summer, I'm going to get all my Mad Magazine paperbacks out and do a video on them. Hopefully,
yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool.
Yeah,
I love those things.
and just about Mad Mag, I can get the magazines out as well. I can get it all out because I've got 3 weeks when I'm on my own, so I can get loads of shit out. It's like,
do you still have those from when you were a kid?
Yeah, I've got the ones that I bought in 84 or something. So back then, awesome. And hopefully get back issue stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
My dad was a huge fan of Mad Magazine, and so was I. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to have those what the last page you'd like fold it.
Yeah,
make,
the foldings they're called. Yeah, they're really clever. Yeah. I think that's where I got my first love of cartooning from, because obviously I collect cartooning stuff. So yeah, I think it was Mad Magazine. Yeah, because I was reading it well early, so I think I was reading Mad when I was like 10, 11, that kind of thing. I think.
Okay.
And there was only a few shops that sold it, so you couldn't get it everywhere. No, that's not true. When I was young, you could get it in Smith's, which was the main. They're not anymore, but they were the main newsagent around. Now they're all independent ones. Mm-hmm. Smiths aren't that common anymore. But yeah, when I was older, they stopped selling them in Smiths, and I had to find the places that sold them. But yeah, I think that's where I first got.
They're not still putting those out, are they?
No, it's all gone. Well, no, for a while it went online and then it just stopped. So yeah, Mad stopped now. Yeah, it was I was gonna do an end of an era kind of video, but then I saw a load of people do some really good ones, and I went, "Oh, I won't do one. I won't do it because that's really good." I can't top that one.
How many issues would you say you have?
It's probably about 25, 30 issues on that. I haven't got like a crazy pile. There's still loads I'd like to get. Okay.
Oh, did he freeze up?
Is he frozen up? Maybe maybe he's that shocked by how many copies of the magazine I've got.
That happens to me every show, Chaz. So but you're back.
Okay.
He's back.
All right.
No, he didn't freeze. I was just in really shock. Wow. How many did you expect me to have then?
What's that?
No, that's all right. We're just talking about your frozen image was beautiful.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad it was beautiful. I was moving on my side.
I get frozen once every episode. I got to disconnect and then get back on. That's what nappies. I'm not sure what the nappies.
Oh, yeah,
coffee.
That's what nappies are for.
Love it.
Oh yeah, are you wearing a nappy tonight, Dave?
Is that like a little kerchief? Like what's a nappy?
Oh, you don't know what a nappy is?
No, they're your diapers. Nappies are your diapers.
What did you say? Diaper. Diaper. Yeah, nappy.
Wow, that's one of the funnest parts about this show is discovering all the.
I know.
We have.
Sounds a bit weird saying diaper, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound weird with an English accent? A diaper. That sounds weird. Yeah, diaper.
Sound weird.
Dude, put your diaper on, mate.
When you say it like that, it sounds weird.
Have you found my diapers?
Yeah, say Jess asking what nappies are.
Yeah, nappies are.
Diapers. There we go.
Yeah. It is a
Heidi's
good
addicted to book
addiction.
too. It is a good addiction.
Yeah.
It's a good, healthy addiction, mostly. Diapers and that's hardcore. That is dedication.
Nice. Might have-
Oh
no.
God, this chat went in the toilet really quickly.
Yeah,
It
really
did,
quickly, yeah.
right? Literally.
Filthy women. I need to make a note of this one. Deathstalker.
Deathstalker.
I don't know that
I
one.
mean, but
That's
I
awesome.
haven't heard of that one either.
Space opera. Okay, I'll write that one
Can't
down.
make a note of it,
I'm not always going to get to them all, but check it
I've
out.
looked at
Yeah,
11
that's
cents
the thing.
around.
We write them down, but we won't get to them all.
Let's start
Yeah.
for tonight. That's
Well, it's funny because we're doing Horror Mayhem, and I've got an entire summer of sci-fi coming up, and I need to create a fantasy event because I'm ignoring fantasy.
Oh yeah.
And Chaz is going to go, yeah, mate, sort yourself out.
when are you going to
Right.
do it? There's no months left. That's the problem.
Well, 20. Well, what is there a word that relates to fantasy that rhymes with 2025?
Oh yeah.
2025.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. This would probably be a good time for me to throw out the question. Every October, I read only Halloween themed books, not horror books, specifically Halloween themed books. That's my thing the last couple of years. And so I posed a question if I should actually make an event for that. I didn't know if that many people. And so there was some interest in actually having a Halloween event in October.
Yeah.
But I can't. That's the hang up. I can't think of a name. I can't.
Well, for the Halloween one.
Yeah. What? How do you mesh Halloween in October? I can't think of anything.
Spooktober.
Spooktober.
Mm-hmm. Spooktober.
That's good. Well, that's.
Hey, he's a genius.
I'll license it to you. No,
that's why I asked. Spooktober.
Yeah, Spooktober. Come on. Well, I've got a question, but I might forget what it is. What was it? I wanted to do something. I was like, how do you do that? Damn, it's not going to come to me now. I'm just thrown by Spooktober. That's just absolute genius. Love it.
That is pretty genius. You came up with that pretty quick, Chaz. Thank you.
Yeah.
Only because I've used it before. Yeah, only because I've used it before. I've done a few October month-long reading events where I did Lovecrafttober for a couple of years in a row, and then I did and then I think I did Spooktober the following year, and then I did Povember as well.
Povember, yeah. So I did a Philip K. Dick event in December last year and called it Dick the Halls.
Yeah.
And I think
very nice.
I did it because I enjoyed saying Dick the Halls in my videos. I only read 2 books, but I enjoyed saying it.
Right.
And actually, Greg from Another Bill Far joined me. He said, I'll read some Philip K. Dick as well. And I think he read more than I did, and I was the one that created the event. Yeah, it's good to try and think of little. They're like puns, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, puns or.
And I had Winter of Wyndham, wasn't it? I did that one.
Winter of Wyndham.
Quite a lot of people did Winter of Wyndham.
Yeah,
that was cool.
I kind of partly did it. I read a book.
you read an introduction to one of his books.
Nah, I read Chrysalids.
Oh, that's cool. That's great. That's great.
In the U.S.
I've heard of that one. I haven't read it.
I just said that for you. I just said that for you, Gareth, because in the U.S. we call that one Rebirth.
Rebirth. Yeah, don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I don't know what this obsession is with. There's this obsession with books that come out of the UK retitling them when they've been introduced in the US. The US titles are always worse. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it would, if the author's English, I would say that the English title is the correct one, and if the author's American, then presumably the American title is the correct one. That's the way I look at it. But
yeah, it's pretty.
Sometimes you get books. Hey.
It's pretty wild. I'm slowly doing a buddy read with one of my friends through Agatha Christie's books, and the next one we've got coming up in the UK it's called Lord Edgware Dies, and in the US it's called 13 at Dinner. I'm like, I like Lord Edgware Dies a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
But that's confusing because someone's probably going to read that and then go, I'm going to read 13 at Dinner now. And they've already read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll go, oh, it's a bit similar. It's a bit of a rip-off of another book I read by her. And they won't realize it's the same book.
It's confusing because, like, John was a viewer. John had seen me review Death of Grass, and it sounded really interesting to him. So he went to the library looking for it and said they didn't have a copy for it. It was a big library in New York City. They didn't have a copy of it, and I said, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Did you try No Blade of Grass?" Because they changed the title, or vice versa. I don't even remember which it was anymore.
Yeah,
so then he went and looked, and of course they had it. They had it. It's just under a different title, but it's like it's frustrating because people are not finding books because they do this.
Yeah, and again, the Death of Grass is better than No Blade of Grass, isn't it? And Death of Grass is the British one.
Yeah.
Oh, Death of Grass is much better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good book as well.
It is a really good book. I love that book. That was my favorite book this year until I read Handmaid's Tale, which I think I like better.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
I was gonna, when you announced you were reading that, I was gonna jump on it, but I didn't get to it, so I need to read that.
Yeah, it was good. Patrick, hey Patrick, hey guys, hanging out for a minute.
Hey Patrick.
Oh, cool. Hi Patrick.
Dragons are the best. Chaz, were you on Kate Sprints last night? That's for you, Chaz.
No, I wasn't actually. I'll have to check out her channel. I don't think I have. I don't think I'm even aware of her.
Do you guys do sprints? Either. I know you guys. I don't think you guys do them, but I mean, do you participate in other people's sprints?
I've gone on sprints. Yeah, I've watched them, if that's the right way. I was chatted. I mean, MJ's done some, and I've chatted on MJ's ones, and I've gone on Courtney's ones. I went on Kelsey's one a couple of times.
But do you
it's a nice idea, eh?
But do you actually read on them, Gareth, or do you just go and create a ruckus?
Yeah. You go write a song and come back and go, oh yeah, no, I do read, because sometimes it's nice to because sometimes you can. I'm sure everyone can relate to the idea that we have to make time to read, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes a sprint comes on when I know I'm not really in the mood, so it's quite good because you go, right, I'm gonna get involved in this sprint and it'll make me read.
Yeah.
And that's quite good because you can get an hour reading in when you might have just flitted about doing other things.
Yeah.
So that's quite
good. I'm the same. I try to take advantage of some of the sprints. I've hosted sprints a couple of times on my channel. It's been a long time. Yeah. Okay. You end up talking more than reading, though.
Yeah. That's what I heard about.
Yeah, it's good though.
If I do one, it might be like 4 hours of chat. And I go, right, who wants to read then?
Yeah.
And everyone goes, shut up, Gareth. I wanted to read. I'm just listening to you wittery on about nothing.
Is that true, Chaz? Are you best known? Are you known for your badass hats?
I guess I am. Yeah, I usually have a hat of some kind on during my videos. So yeah, I've got at least 10 or 12 hats and always adding more. So
love it.
I even recently got myself a fez because fezzes are cool.
That's brilliant. Yeah. You have to wear a fez if you do any Doctor Who videos.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's right.
Doctor Who's back this week.
Yeah, tomorrow.
This weekend,
at least
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I don't know about you guys. There was some scuttlebutt over that because of the partnership with Disney. The U.S. gets Doctor Who, I think, before you guys do. Which
we get it on a Saturday. It's always been a Saturday for us. It's either a Saturday or Christmas Day. So it's never been any other day, but it will be if it's Christmas Day. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
a big Doctor Who fan.
I'm excited. I like Chudy Gatwa. He's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
makes for a good
I
doctor.
just really hope they don't use the same villains all the time, and I hope they don't make it kind of all romantic because I don't like when they do that. So they did that
Yeah.
with they did that. Like David Tennant is a fantastic doctor, and definitely one of the best doctors, but I didn't like it when they made him and Rose into a couple.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think it was a bit of a shame. But Rose was a brilliant assistant. But yeah, maybe we'll talk about that in a minute.
Tennant was.
But someone's just mentioned biscuits. Look,
I know. Yeah. What's your favorite? Hold on. Let me ask one question real quick before we do the rest.
Oh, that's right.
The Tennant. Did he? So this is one of those shows that I shamefully have not. I've only watched like a season and a half. I've been meaning to. Yeah, I know, and it was years ago. I know. I'll take my. You can take my whippings now. So it's one of those ones that's on the list. It's just such a, it's a time investment. I've been meaning to do it. but I mean, I know a little bit, and I know what the doctor's changing everything. But I was playing Trivial Pursuit with my family the other day. It was like an 80, what was it? An 80s, 90s? No. Anyway, it was like an updated, it was a certain decade of Trivial Pursuit, so that it's evenly matched between the parents and the kids. We might both know the answers,
Yeah.
And
yes,
there was a question.
Like
it said what season of Doctor Who was, what season was David Tennant the Doctor? And he must have been in a couple seasons then, right? Because they said something like, I don't know, like 8 or something like that. And I was like, that wasn't season 8. But I guess he's been in more than one. Like,
well,
he came
it's
back.
a bit weird. I don't know if they include the classic period when they do that, or if Christopher Eccleston was season 1. I don't know how they've done it. So I don't think I could answer that. I know exactly when it was when he was the second one. It was in like the second series when it came back in the 2000s after Christopher Eccleston did one season. And he fell out with the producers, which is why he left, because there was a lot of mystery about why he left, but he revealed it recently, and it was a bit of a ooh, and everyone was talking about it. I say everyone. I was chatting with Ralph about it, and he fell out with the producers, so he left. David Tennant replaces him, and ends up being everyone's favorite Doctor.
Yeah, right.
But isn't it? Don't they each only do one season?
No.
No.
Oh,
No. It's unusual to have one season. Most of the Doctors have done more than that. Normally about 3 years, I suppose. Tom Baker did it for ages.
He
did it for about
Tom Baker did it for at least 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they changed the Doctor's body like every year.
No, they changed it when the actor decided not to do it anymore.
Okay.
I mean, the first time one of the interesting things about Doctor Who, I don't know how much you know about the history of it, but they didn't intend it to be that kind of thing. So William Hartnell was the first Doctor, and then he got ill. So he did a bunch of series. There's quite a lot of it on BBC iPlayer. So he did about 3 seasons, I think it was. And he got really ill, and he was like forgetting his lines, and he was just he couldn't do it. And he decided, and by the time he was getting ill, the character meant quite a lot to him, and he really wanted to cling on to it, but it was like, it wasn't working. And they were like, well, this show's getting popular. We can't just drop the show. And then someone went, well, let's invent this idea that he can change his appearance. And then they did that. They had him die and then come back as Patrick Troughton. Okay. So that's just genius, isn't it? Absolute genius.
Yeah. It's a much better way of explaining why you get a new actor all the time, as opposed to the way James Bond does it.
Just don't talk about it.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's got to be something in the James Bond lore where he's a doctor, but he must be a Time Lord, but they won't.
He's a Time Lord. With a very specific thing he always does. So all the other Time Lords go around doing all sorts of things, but he's like, no, I'm only going to do like espionage and skiing and sleeping with women. That's all I'm going to do. Yeah, I ain't going to do any of this other stuff that the other Time Lords does. Yeah,
Right.
do. But yeah, the James Bond thing is funny because there's literally no continuity. Because like, there's one where he got married, isn't it? In on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh yeah.
He actually gets married in that film. Yeah, and he never mentions it again. So no one ever says, "Did you get married once?" You know, when you were Australian, did you get married? That was George Lazenby, the Australian James Bond, wasn't it? Do you know about that?
Oh yeah, we
They're normally-
got to do the biscuits.
Yeah,
All right. I guess it's time.
it's time.
Show us your munchies.
It's time.
All right. What do you got, Chess?
All right. So, because I'm technically Irish, even though I'm born in the U.S., I went with some Dublin shortbread cookies.
Oh.
Yeah, Pepperidge Farm.
So what kind of cookies?
Biscuits for you, cookies for me.
Have you had those before?
I have. Yeah, they're really good.
What kind
one of
of
my
cookies?
favorites. I don't buy them very often because they're not cheap, but special occasions definitely call for it. So,
what kind of cookie is that? Like what flavor is that?
it's just a shortbread butter cookie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They don't mess around and put like peanut butter on it and stuff. They just know that it tastes lovely without all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't spoil
does.
it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no reason to put anything on it. Absolutely.
Tomato ketchup or gravy, you know, whatever you guys do over there. Yeah.
You put anything on those
great.
cookies?
I can't imagine putting gravy on now. Like on U.S. biscuits, yeah, we'll put gravy on them.
Actual
Imagine
biscuits.
putting gravy on a biscuit there. Yeah, that. Oh man, that would be so
So
gross.
be careful. You said actual biscuits.
I'm sorry.
Yeah?
I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I retract.
unbelievable. What's going on? What's going on? Does it actually say Dublin shortbread cookies, or does it say Dublin shortbread biscuits, or does it just say Dublin shortbread?
It says it just says Dublin, and then it says distinctly buttery shortbread baked to a tender crisp.
Ah, yeah, that's a good way to avoid the whole
Avoid the
language barrier.
controversy.
Just say shortbread. It's just shortbread, mate.
Yeah.
It's bread that's short. That's all it is.
That is correct.
They probably used to say something, and they got wind of our show, and they changed the labeling to avoid any controversy.
Don't set them off. Don't set them off. Call it shortbread.
What you got, Gareth?
Well, I was raising
No, you better not be Jamie Dodgers. Better not be
It's
Jamie
not.
Dodgers.
No, this is different. It's different. I try and at least for a while until we run out of biscuits. I'm going to try and make it different each show as much as I can. I mean, obviously, I'm going to bring custard creams back a number of times and hobnobs, but these are Biscoff biscuits.
Oh,
So these are a Biscoff biscuit cream.
Yeah,
those are
I
good.
love those. They're like well,
These belong to my wife, so don't tell her.
Lips are sealed.
Those are like
Yeah, don't tell her. As long as I don't say this in
biscotti,
public, I'll be all right.
Do
Biscoff.
you dip those in your tea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall I? Is that exciting?
Well, I don't know.
Is that
They're
good
really
TV?
good. They're really good for dipping in coffee. They're like the biscotti.
Is that good TV? Here we go. Oh, I've drank nearly all of it. You're going to see my hand disappear. Here we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, wait. I'll be right back.
Jump.
Oh, he's going to get his. He was slacking, huh?
Yeah. Who am I working with? He hasn't even got any biscuits with him. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Right. There we go. Okay, what you got for us, Dave?
See, these are not my cookies for tonight, but I just wanted to show. See, we get them on the planes over here. Delta gives these out on the planes. But I also
yeah. Like with a little bit of coffee or whatever.
Yeah, I love these things. I actually one time I was in, so I'm on the East Coast, but you want something else? I'm on the East Coast, but one time or a number of times I was in when I was in California, there's this famous pier out there. It's like a tourist pier, and they actually have these Battlestar Galactica, these autographed Battlestar Galactica things. I got those on that pier. They have a shop that's like rare sports and movie memorabilia, autographed and everything. That's where I got those.
Nice.
Cool.
For anybody that hasn't seen them, this is my autographed Battlestar Galactica. That same pier also has they have a whole shop. They have a with the Biscoff cookies. The whole shop is all those cookies, and I don't remember if they had something else, coffee or ice cream or something too. But they had a whole shop for that. That was like the name of it.
That's cool.
I said, you're not nearly as excited about this as I thought you would be.
No, that is really cool. Yeah, send me a picture.
All right,
What you got?
I got these maple leaf cookies.
Oh.
It's
Has that got a
supposed to
syrupy taste?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. It's a
Smooth
maple
maple
flavored
flavor.
cream filling.
Cream
That's
filling.
awesome.
I love
I
maple.
love that.
Curious to see if it actually tastes like that.
It's not gravy filling, is it?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Oh, I don't know if you can have this, Bubs. I don't know if you can have these. Once Ryan's all sleepy. Once the cookies come out, she perks right up. Hey.
Yeah, Olive loves our show. She's like, "Oh, God, Dave's doing a thing. Is this thing on again? I'm there. Give me those biscuits."
And Olive has something new this week. She has Jerky Treats, original beef recipe.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, sounds delicious,
Yeah.
right? I'll send
Yeah,
some
beef
your way.
biscuits.
I'll send some your way.
I still say we need to get slightly tipsy one show and eat dog biscuits. I can't do it sober because it's just clearly very gross, but it will be funny. Why do you eat like meat flavored biscuits, Ralph? He's not replying.
Yeah, you never bring biscuits for him. Is he allowed to have biscuits?
Yeah, he's allowed to have biscuits. They had some this tuna stuff earlier, and they were both, I think, upset their stomach. They were both wandering around going, no, 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 no. I go, oh God, don't give them that again. So I don't know, but they're old men now, so I don't know. I think most of what we give them now, they go, oh no, what have you done? You fed me. I can't cope with this.
So you know what I just did, just for any dog lovers out there. This is totally random, but I keep, they always eat kibble, and we try to buy them a healthy kibble. But then I keep seeing all these videos online. I'm sure they sensationalize it, but I keep seeing videos online where they talk about how bad the kibble is for the dogs. Right?
Okay.
And I was like looking at these things like Farmer's Dog and stuff where you can buy it's like healthy people food for the dogs, and I'm like, but these things are like really expensive. So I'm like, I bet I can just make this stuff. So I researched it a little bit, and yeah, so they have these I basically end up with this crock pot recipe where I just made like a big batch of, and it was ground turkey, kidney beans, peas, carrots, and like a little sweet potato. And it's supposed to be like super nutritious meal for the dogs, and you just cook it in the crock pot. I made like a whole bunch of little containers of it. And I didn't know if I was like, suspicious whether they were like really going to like it. Cause it's like peas and carrots and stuff. They love it. They love it. There's not a single pea left in that bowl when they're done. So I'm like so happy because I got this like really like nutritious food for them. But now I'm going to be making a crock pot of this like every weekend.
Treat. That's like posh food, isn't it, for dogs? She's like, very refined food. It's just like feels like she's gone up in status or something. Because you're giving her this very posh food.
It's pretty cheap to make. Those ingredients, except for the like the ground turkey. Everything else is very cheap. They're all pretty cheap ingredients. So,
but it's still remember we were saying last time about they eat their own poo, don't they? So
yeah, right.
Right. Yeah, so it's very high status. That is like actual
this
pea.
This is like caviar, right? For them.
Caviar.
People saying hi. I read it out by Natsuki.
Jerry Blaze. I've heard of Jerry.
Ooh.
Oh, you met Rat James White. Where did you meet Rat James White? Oh,
Rabbit
let's
Hunt.
know,
I've heard
Patrick,
of
where you
Rabbit
met him.
Hunt.
Have you guys read any Rat James White?
Mm-mm.
No, but I've heard of Rabbit Hunt. I think. Don't know if someone's reviewed it or something. But yeah, that's cool. Something to
I
look
haven't
up.
heard of that one. I read a book of his called
I'll write it down.
The Resurrectionist.
All right.
Man, that was really a really disturbing book. I thought it was a really good
So
book, though. It doesn't get like
Is it a horror book?
it's a horror. I mean, it's horror, but it's more like what I would put in like the disturbing. It's one of the most disturbing books I've ever read. Like the 20-second summary is that there's this guy that he is able to make people forget. Like I forget, I think it was like the last 24 hours.
Oh wow.
Something like that. He's like really religious, and he thinks this is like his power is bestowed by God, and so he's like morally okay with what he does. So
Mhm.
he like does horrible things to people, like just physical and sexual violence to people, and then just makes them forget it all. And so but it follows these main characters who end up finding evidence. So like the next, he's able to he's sorry, I didn't explain it right. He's able basically to he's able to kill them and then revive them like nothing happened, and they have no memory of it.
Oh,
That's why it's called
okay.
the resurrectionist, because he resurrects them and they don't have any memory of like that last 24 hours or whatever. So these
Okay.
people wake up and they think nothing's happened to them,
Mhm.
and they don't know anything's happened, and but they've been violently assaulted in different ways and killed. And so it follows this couple, and in particular this woman who experienced this, but they find clues then, right? Like the guy cleans up and stuff, but eventually, you find like blood under your mattress and stuff, and you wonder what the hell's going on, right?
Oh
So,
wow.
but I
Yeah.
thought it was a pretty genius concept because, I mean, it was really disturbing horror book, but it explored like this, like really unique form of trauma where you had, right, like these people that they know they've gone through this horrendous experience, and they're fearful that they're going to go through this horrendous experience again, even though they don't have any recollection of it. They're not experiencing any current pain from the event. I know that was just like such a unique concept, exploring that kind of trauma and what it's like knowing that is happening, even though you can't remember any of it. I thought it was
Yeah,
pretty
that's
neat.
really cool. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's nice when you've got like a different concept of a villain, like a horror character
Yeah.
that's causing the crime or the death or the horror or whatever, and it's just a bit different. That's cool, isn't it?
Yep. All right,
It's hard to be different nowadays. Hard to think of something fresh.
that's true. I think Trump called Pete Buttigieg out. Do you know who Pete Buttigieg is, Gareth?
No, but I know who Alfred E. Newman is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Giving some attention. So you know who Trump is.
Okay.
Buttigieg is from
I
the
know who Trump is.
other.
He's the angel of death, basically, and he's the bringer of doom.
Hopefully, the
Jesse-
bringer of his own doom.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry.
Is it authors whose views are
It'll be tremendous. You guys,
That's a good question.
that you will not read their books?
I've never wanted to read Mein Kampf. So funny seeing Hitler's name there. I don't think that's true. I don't think. I heard that there were some awful things with David Eddings, but I still want to reread the Belgariad, and I still feel like it's an important part of my childhood, and I'd like to read it again. And I think I'll be able to read it and not even think about what I've heard David Eddings got involved in. And I've only heard it vaguely, to be fair, but it is awful. But yeah, I think I probably can read it without thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not Hitler.
Well,
but
that one would be a little hard to do. Yeah, but if I was interested in reading it, I would read it. I'm just not interested in reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, thinking about it, the Mein Kampf is full of the ideology of Hitler anyway. So it's not even about what the person's like. The actual content's horrific anyway, isn't it? So
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. We're
Yeah.
just not interested in reading that content, but
yeah,
I'm very much of the mentality. I understand people, reasonable minds can disagree on this, but I'm very much of the mentality that I separate the art from the artist, and
yeah,
I just I don't need to like the guy or girl in order to appreciate the art. But I know a main argument that I've heard for that is that, well, but you don't want to. If somebody just has an abhorrent, like, personality and the things that they try to do, that you don't want to read their stuff because you don't want to financially support them, right? By contributing to revenue for their book. And I guess I can kind of understand that, but like that for a lot of these are authors that are, a lot of people will have issues with authors that from like 100 years ago, where
yeah,
because it was like more acceptable to say racist
yeah.
things.
Or people like H.P. Lovecraft, who was clearly racist.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a big one for that.
But the money just goes to his estate, doesn't even go to him, and his children
the
and grandchildren might be absolutely fine and progressive or whatever.
Right.
Isn't it?
Right.
So yeah, it's a bit of a leap to assume that his entire lineage is out of order.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I know what you mean. I think for me, I just feel like it's important to kind of call out the things that you don't like in society when you see them, but when you're reading a book, that's just a separate thing that you've got to kind of simplify your life a bit and just not make everything into a battle and everything into conflict. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise you just end up taking everything too seriously and you can't enjoy anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick,
if we never read books from people we don't like, there wouldn't be much, or people that we disagreed with on certain issues, there wouldn't be that much to read.
Yeah, and you'd end up spending loads of time researching the author before you picked a book up.
Yeah.
And that's going to kill it, isn't it? Why not read the book and then worry about the author later?
Yeah, right.
So Patrick, this shows you we're a little bit behind here. Patrick has a proposal for your reading event, Gareth. Jive 2025.
Jive 2025.
I like it.
Nice.
Autumn Gothic. October. Is that the Brian Boyer book?
Awesome Gothic.
I think that's Brian Boyer. Is that what you mean, Patrick?
I've got Mexican Gothic I need to read at some point.
Dave's here. Have you not heard of Deathstalkers? Simon has written so many of those.
Dave sent me an email earlier saying, "How have you not heard of blah 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 blah?" I haven't heard of everything. I might be an old man, but it doesn't mean I know everything. I know everything about music.
And music and bands. You know everything about bands, dude.
No, I can't claim that, even though I don't get caught out very often. But I do get caught out. I mean, there's a million trillion novels out there, isn't there? So
yeah.
So it's a love letter to Dune, Star Wars, and Star Trek. Well,
okay.
That cool. Sounds like it's got some merit right there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Brian Durfee's done a review.
Check that out. I just received a copy of Animal Horror today. There's going to be
classic
possessions.
Yeah.
Have you read that? You guys read that?
Well, I've seen the film. I haven't read it, but I've seen the film when I was a kid. Classic, isn't it? It's the film. Say again, Chaz?
I haven't seen the film or read the book. I'm relatively new to horror. I'm enjoying it, but I mostly got into it because my kids were really into it. So I grew up quite sheltered, so horror is kind of new to me.
Yeah, it's pretty new to me.
What have you started with? When you say it's new, have you started in a particular way, or are you reading short stories or certain authors?
Yeah, well, I started with Lovecraft and Poe. Of course, I read Poe when I was a kid, but that was an exception. Pretty much everything else I was new to. So I started with Lovecraft, and also The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. So, yeah, and I've read a few others since then that I've really enjoyed.
Yeah. So you kind of dipping your toe in a little bit. So have you done that recently because of Horror Mayhem, or are you just doing it anyway?
Oh, I just do it whenever I feel the need to pick up a horror book.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but it's only been within the last. Actually, I read Clive Barker for the first time after I'd started my BookTube channel, and it's been almost 5 years now since I started my channel. So
yeah.
So I'm pretty new, but yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, it's there's lots of different types of horror as well. It's like when someone says they don't like science fiction. There's so many different types of science fiction.
Oh yeah,
that they just got to find the right thing in it. Same with horror. There's so many different types of horror.
Yeah,
it's just finding the one that
and
speaks
there's
to
so
you.
much
Really,
crossover too. Like a lot of Lovecraft would be considered cosmic horror. So
yeah.
It's kind of got the sci-fi and the horror blending together, and
yeah. Well, and I'm finding out as well. The more that we discuss these things online, there's a real thin line between thriller and horror now. So if you just like crime books, then if it gets like a more heavy, extreme, intense crime thriller, it's probably nipping into horror a little bit.
Right.
So yeah.
The Hannibal Lecter books definitely do that.
Yeah, you can get into horror that way sometimes as well if you're into crime, isn't it? And then just leap into the supernatural a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, Alan.
Hi, Al.
Saying hi.
Oh, hi, Elaine. I didn't see that Elaine was there. Hi, Elaine.
Povember.
Hello, everybody.
November.
Chaz, you did Povember, you said, right?
Yeah, I did November 1 year. Yeah.
Duma
Oh,
King.
Duma Key. I've heard that's a good one.
What's that one about? Tell us what that one's about, Heidi. I don't know. Did you read that, Gareth? You read a lot of King.
That's one that I haven't even got. Let alone there's only well, I've got 61 books by him, 62 now. Yeah, so I've got a lot of this stuff. There's not a lot I haven't got, but that is one I haven't got actually. I think it's set on a beach somewhere. I think, but I'm not sure. I don't know much about it.
Hey, MJ.
Hi, MJ.
I've yet to read any of my.
If you got Triffids, do that one first.
Yeah, I gotta read that one next. I don't have it, but I gotta read that one next.
So good. Have you read Day of the Triffids, Chaz?
I have not. No, I want to.
So good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's dated. Sometimes you'll like a book and then you read it later and go, oh, doesn't really like translate nowadays. But I read that again recently and it's fine. It's just great.
It's really, really good. Well, then that's good. Yeah, there are some that don't.
Yeah, when we were younger, we had a different outlook on the world, didn't we? And now you read it now and you go, oh, I don't think I can recommend that to someone in their 20s,
Right. It was amazing. Like
Duma Key. Oh, okay.
Saying hi. Read it for October. I will reread it. Okay. I have to look it up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, William.
William's there. Yay.
Day of the Triffids and Midwich Cuckoos. Oh, yeah. I got to read that one, too.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of Midwich Cuckoos. That's cool.
Didn't you review that a couple months ago, Gareth?
Me? I did I think I probably mentioned it because I did some Wyndham. I did a Wyndham video. I did a general one probably about a year ago actually. But it's that the thing I like the most about the Midwich Cuckoos is the ending. Such a good ending, and you don't expect it. I love it when you read you read a book and the ending is like, oh, okay, that wasn't what I was expecting. It's cool. Yeah. It's good.
Okay.
Very good.
Dude, saying hi. Purchase Beyond My Back on a book recommended Magic by William Goldman. The love story of a dummy. You guys saw Jess's video with Charlie? You haven't seen that one. You got to go watch that.
Oh, Magic's about it's about a ventriloquist dummy, isn't it? Magic. They made the film with Anthony Hopkins in it, didn't they?
Oh,
Why
I
does
don't
William
know.
Goldman sound familiar? I recognize his name, but I've never heard of that book.
William Goldman. William Goldman wrote. Didn't he write Lord of the Flies? Am I going mad here?
Oh, maybe that. Yeah, that might
Oh,
be.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think you're right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So this
Okay,
magic
I'm
is a
done with
movie too?
Yeah, it's definitely a film with Anthony Hopkins in it from the 70s. It was like early in his career before he did Hannibal Lecter and became really famous. So he was quite famous over here before he did Silence of the Lambs, and then he became like famous everywhere.
Was it a good
Um,
movie?
I liked it when I was a kid. So literally, I saw it when I was quite young. It's like an early horror film, Yeah, I like it. It might be a bit dated now, but I liked it.
Oh,
MJ says read Triffid. The 50th anniversary was yesterday.
Huh.
50th
Okay.
anniversary. No, it came out in the 40s.
Is that right?
Yeah, the book came out in
Right.
1946, was it? 49? Can't remember. But it was definitely a lot older than that.
It's one of Elaine's
yeah.
favorites. Remember you from Juan's reading sprints. Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool.
Triffids it is.
I hope I've seen some Instagram posts from Juan, but he's not been doing YouTube videos, is he? So I do miss him on YouTube.
He did put out one recently, but it had been a while. Yeah, he doesn't do much anymore.
Yeah, Nicole saw my cat's tail sticking up.
Hey, Nicole. Where is the kitty? Right there?
She went somewhere. She'll be back eventually.
All right.
She takes every opportunity to sit in my lap for a while and then get down, and then she'll come back. So
yeah. To read Clark's Childhood End. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One I want to read.
You read that, Gareth? Yeah, yes. It's really good. It's quite it's got one of those, it's a really nice setup, and then it goes somewhere you're not expecting. You go, oh, okay, this is cool, and then it goes on a really trippy ending, and it's like, okay, wow, we're going like really cosmic. But yeah, it's very good.
Did you read it, Chaz?
I haven't read. Actually, I don't think I've read any Arthur C. Clarke yet.
No. It's pretty short.
Yeah, he writes short stuff. I think he's out of him and Asimov. I think he's a better writer. Because I think Asimov was really an ideas man, great ideas, but a little bit kind of stifled prose, I think. And Clarke sort of rolls better.
I read the first Foundation book, and it was good, but it wasn't great for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Asimov kind of engages your head, doesn't really engage your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a good writer does both. I've said that before in a video. I think it's important. I think a good writer does both.
I don't think we can be. I don't think we can be friends anymore.
Sorry, Dave.
Because of Asimov.
Because of Foundation.
Oh, because of Foundation. Oh. I mean, I'm going to read the other two books. I want to finish it. I just I didn't care. I didn't care for the writing so much in the first book, but maybe it'll get better for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think book 2 was the worst of the three, so I don't know.
You're not selling this, Dave. No.
Yeah, book 2 goes off on this sort of weird. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a major figure that shows up in book 2, and he's just like, it's a little bit more of a fantasy sort of figure, fantastical figure, and it kind of it dominates a lot of the book. You know what I mean? I just a lot of people like it. It just wasn't really for me, that thing, but that storyline.
Fair enough.
I still want to read more Asimov because I want to give him more of a go, because I read a lot when I was I say a lot. I read some of his stuff when I was younger, and I've got him. There's some of his stuff like iRobot and a couple of others are in my list of books I want to read before I do a definitive like top 50 science fiction books kind of thing. There's like about 10 books I want to read before I do that on my channel. because like I expect I'm going to love Earth Abides. I want to read that.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
And there's a few others like that I just feel like I don't think I will. Just think things, books I've known about for decades, but just not got round to, because I've always read science fiction, but I haven't always read the obvious ones,
Yeah, me too. What is that Zone episode, A Nice Place to Visit, takes a big hint from that book?
Yeah, I think she's referring to the fact that I don't want to do any spoilers for the book, but there's a character that's the big twist in that episode, and that's the first ever episode of Twilight Zone I watched. By the way, I'll say it in the video that how important that episode is because it was the first one I ever saw. But it's the twist is that he thinks he's in heaven, and he thinks that the person he's been speaking to is an angel, but he's not. He's in hell, and that's the devil.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I haven't seen the
Childhood Zone has got a thing where these aliens.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Yeah. Okay. It's not. I don't think it's. I think someone could have written that without reading that book, but I get why there's a link. I get what Heidi's doing.
Yeah. That makes sense now. Time book. Okay, ruckus. It's always a great time. Oh, the sprints. You don't create a ruckus on the sprints, I guess.
Yeah. I would probably. I mean, MJ's always said to me I should do it. I should try it and see what it's like. But I'd want to do it in a meaning like. When Chad said, "Oh, I just chat a lot," I think that's good because I won't name him, but there's a booktuber that does a reading sprint, and it just cracks him up. It's well weird because he sets it up and he says hello, and he just starts reading, and then he'll read for an hour, and he'll go, "That was good, wasn't it?" And then he just turns it off. Just like, what? That's just
great.
weird, isn't it? So he's like a massive booktuber, and I love his channel. It's brilliant, but that's the weirdest reading sprint. Surely the whole point is to make it like to chat in between and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. That's
so
the general format, but he wanted to do it different, I guess.
He wants to read his book. So all right, we'll read your book then. We don't have to watch.
The purpose of this is to read books, so I'm going to read my book.
Yeah, so I would do it by doing like in 40 minutes or an hour we'll chat and tell me what you read and that because that's what I've experienced in other people's reading experience, and that makes sense. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
What's the Pomodoro app? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I haven't heard of the Pomodoro app.
What is that, William?
That sounds like something that can help you do your hair nice.
Because of no sprints.
Oh, like a pompadour? Yeah.
Rage is in the house.
Rage is there, yeah. Brian, what biscuits have you destroyed tonight? Let us know. One day I'm going to watch the original live stream and find out why we called him Rage Biscuit.
I was really angry about the biscuits you were eating or something. I don't remember either.
The Fez. I'm ignoring my biscuits. What's going on? I say my biscuits. I'm ignoring my wife's biscuits.
Oh. Yeah, where are your biscuits, Chaz? You don't look like you're eating any biscuits there.
Oh yeah, I've been slowly consuming them.
Mine that did not taste really like maple. It just tasted like an Oreo center, Everybody's happy to see Rage here. Bookish, no biscuits in the house. Saying hi.
Are we catching up?
Not quite. Trying.
Oh.
About Billy Piper being in the show.
Oh yeah. No, that's really true. Billy Piper, when she started Doctor Who, she's only famous for being this sort of extremely young pop star.
Yeah.
Doing really naff mainstream song, and everyone was like, "What? Why has she been cast?" And she's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So yeah, really, really likable as well. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, Jenny's right. We're all going, "What have you done? Why have you cast that?" But yeah, brilliant.
Does she show up in a lot of seasons?
She did come back. She came back for the Day of the Doctor, which was like a fantastic 50th anniversary show.
Yeah.
And she did, and she was in a few seasons because she was in the first one with Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
And then in like 2 seasons, I think it was, with David Tennant. She was in it for a while.
Yeah.
And everyone loved her character.
Yeah.
And then Day of the Doctor. And I kind of wonder if we might not see her come back at some point.
She might do. I think she's up for it. She was she said on a convention recently that she'd be up for coming back.
Nice.
So, you know, if they want to do like another, because like I thought it was really cool that Bonnie Langford was in the Christmas one, because she was one of Sylvester McCoy's assistants.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was really nice seeing her. So I think when they do that, when they bring them back, it's quite nice, you know. Although, what's her face? Rose is in another dimension, isn't she now? So I don't know if that works. So I just have to come home somehow.
Dimension, but it's Doctor Who. They can do anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the best assistants is Amy Pond, isn't it? And now she's well famous because of Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
So I think she might be too big to come back to Doctor Who now, which is really mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why can't I think of her name?
Was good. I really like Amy and Rory. Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, that was a really good period. I think Matt Smith's a good Doctor as well. Hence why the Fez is a good idea.
I'm gonna have to go watch some Doctor Who late tonight, I guess.
Yeah, you might be going to have some fish finger sandwiches.
Right. And custard.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's fish fingers in custard. It's not fish fingers in. Yeah, fish fingers in custard. That's as bad as peanut butter on a gravy meal.
That was the 10th Doctor.
Tennant was the 10th Doctor. Yeah, there's a lot before him.
Did you Piper and Penny?
Cool. I didn't see her in the Trent Penny.
Right, she was in Penny Dreadful as well. That was a great show. You guys seen Penny Dreadful?
Yeah, I saw a couple
good.
seasons.
Ava Gryn and Timothy Dalton was in that one as well. Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Timothy Dalton's underrated, I think. Just put it out there.
Very underrated. I liked his James Bond really well too. I thought he was a very underrated James Bond.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. And he's Prince Baron in Flash Gordon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 80s Flash Gordon. Come on, guys, you've seen that. You have seen that, right? You've seen Flash Gordon.
I just didn't remember him in it. That's interesting. Okay.
Very long time.
Do you remember Flash Gordon, Dave?
Yeah, it was a very long time ago.
Okay, all you can think about is I've said all you can think about is Princess Aura. I know.
They were doctors, not seasons. Tennant was the best Doctor.
Wibbly wobbly timey-wimey. That episode is incredible. If you can just sift through Doctor Who stuff to find the episode called Blink.
Yes.
It's one of the best hours of TV, full stop.
That was one of the freakiest Doctor Who episodes I have seen still to this day. The Weeping Angels are one of my top 10. Like they're in my top 3 Doctor Who villains. Just
but the way it's written, because obviously they came back and each time they brought them back, it was fine. But that first one is so brilliantly written, isn't it? And that's got and that was Carrie Mulligan was the sort of female lead in that episode, wasn't she? And now she's mega famous as well.
Okay.
She recently played Bernstein's wife in Maestro.
What season is that?
Mulligan. So that's God. I think it was immediately after Rose left, and then they did a couple of episodes where there was no assistant, and then the next one, which was probably Amy Pond. Was David Tennant with Amy Pond? I think maybe for a bit, but yeah, they did a few episodes where it was just random people that were his kind of like bounce off character. And this episode Blink is so brilliant. It is really, really amazing. And if you talk to anyone who's in Doctor Who and you say Blink, they go, "Oh my god, that episode!" You know,
you wouldn't want to watch it as a sequence, though, right? I mean,
It doesn't matter. It's a standalone episode. It doesn't fit to anything else.
Oh, okay.
It's brilliant. Yeah. I mean, Doctor Who tends to be like that. I mean, that's the thing that I don't like it when it tries to join up things. It's like, it should be episodic.
You'll get some references if you watched all of it. They might make a reference here or there to things that happen in other episodes, but that doesn't happen in every episode either. Yeah, a lot of them are standalones.
Yeah,
it's nice when they do it in a special, like they do the anniversary specials and that sort of thing. It's nice when they have old companions come back or they make a reference to something happened and that's nice. But for regular episodes, just have as good sci-fi stories, isn't it? Adventure stories or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes the Doctor Who writers can get a little bit buried in trying to make something deep and meaningful, and it's just like, well, I don't know if you need that all the time,
Right.
Yeah. They did a good Rosa Parks episode, I think, in the Jodie Whittaker period.
They did, yeah. That was quite good.
That was really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they worried too much about being too serious all the time, I think, with Jodie Whittaker, and I think they lost it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a good episode, the Rosa Parks one.
So maybe I should start over with episode 1 of Doctor Who and do a Doctor Who series as a newbie.
I've been doing the occasional. I've got a few scheduled up as well. I've done a few videos on the old Doctor Who, so like the first ones, the really early '60s ones. And I do think they if you've got a bit of patience and you're happy to watch something that is clearly filmed in an old-fashioned way, it can translate. But I think it might be a little bit removed, and you might be like, oh, I don't know if I've got the patience for this. But the series that Christopher Eccleston did when it was rejigged is a really good way to start, I think. So the one that they probably call season 1, I don't know, but the one that in 2003 or whenever it was when Christopher Eccleston came back, started as Doctor. So he was the 9th Doctor, and that is a really good place to start, I think.
It is. I agree. Yeah. If you're gonna start the new series, start it with that one for sure.
Yeah. That's what I never watched the old one, but that's what back in the early 2000s. That's when it was. I think it was on the Sci-Fi Channel when it was first coming out. That's where I started. But I only got through huh?
No, I was wondering what you saw. So what did you watch then?
I think I saw like a season and a half. I got
the David Tennant ones.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Doctor switch over, but just once, just that first time. That was I didn't get past that. So, I don't even think I got through all the way through season 2. And I did actually start over once and watched, I think, all of season 1 again, or almost all. And now it's been a while again, so I think I might have to start over again. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think it's a funny thing because there's so much of it, and it's been going for so long that there are some boring bits, and there's some bits that are just like, all right. But there's something. I think there's something magical about it. I mean, I watched it when I was a kid, so it's a big British institution. And I, when I was little, I was watching the Tom Baker ones, and then sort of watched all the others after that, and then the ones before that after that as well. So we were all talking about it at school, and it was a big thing over here. So it's always been there. You know what I mean? It's been in my life all the time. So I do think there's a bit of magic to it. But
yeah, for sure.
So MJ
and my students absolutely love it. There's a few students that are so excited about Saturday when it comes back. They keep talking about it. So it's really cool to see the new generation get all excited about it as well.
What is it like? It's like of the newer one that started into it. There's like 15 seasons, or how many seasons is there?
What do you mean by the new one?
The one that started in the early 2000s.
I don't know. There's one with Chris Eccleston. There's 2, I think, with David Tennant. There's 2, maybe 3 with Matt Smith. Couple with Peter Capaldi. There's probably about 10, I suppose, 10, 12, something like that.
Yeah, there's I think there's 14. I'd have to
Is it 14?
but yeah, because Matt Smith definitely had 3. I think Peter Capaldi
Yeah.
had 3 as well. Jody had 3. So
Yeah, yeah.
right there, and then so there's a lot of seasons. Yeah.
So I thought Peter Capaldi was a brilliant actor for it, but then the writing got so damn serious. It was like some of it was so depressing. It's like, oh my god, can you lighten up a bit?
Yeah.
You know.
Oh well, we're way behind. Okay, Tom Baker.
Tom Baker's the best Doctor. That is really common thought. So David Tennant is the one that competes with Tom Baker. It's one of those two that gets named the best Doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, David Tennant's definitely mine.
Sorry, I was trying to catch up a little bit here.
Yeah.
This mountain. It was great in The Leftovers. You guys see The Leftovers?
No, I haven't seen The Leftovers. Oh yeah, Joey Davies.
But I think Chris Rex is one of the best actors around. I think Chris Rex is an amazing actor.
Yeah, he is. He's an underrated actor as well. I've liked everything I've seen him in. I even liked him as the Dark Elf in Thor: The Dark World. I thought he was great. You know.
Oh yeah.
And I first saw him in Heroes.
Oh yeah.
Heroes.
Yeah, it was great seeing him in Heroes. Season 1 of Heroes is so brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. Who was he in Heroes?
It is. Yeah.
He was the oh god.
He was the invisible guy.
He's the one that. Eh?
He was the one that the younger of the two brothers like bumped into on the street and didn't realize there was anybody there because he like he right, so you can't see him.
Yeah. He was like almost like a cameo, wasn't it? He was in 2 episodes, was it? Something like that.
Yeah. That was a good show.
Yeah, Tom Baker was in
it all the way through.
What, Heroes?
Yeah.
I stopped some point in the second series, so I thought it just wasn't pulling me in. So, but I absolutely loved the first series. So maybe I should have persevered, but I really like the first series. I think it's fantastic.
I watched all 4 seasons, and it was overall it was a very good series, but it definitely lacked in the last couple of seasons. It got a little, it got a little wild and crazy, but I thought it was good. And then they did like about 10 years later, they did a kind of a event season, like kind of a reboot sequel to it, which was
Reborn, right? Heroes Reborn.
Yeah. Reborn.
That's right. I never even saw that one. Yes,
that was about doing another series as well. So.
Yeah.
I think the thing about the first series, it was all about save the cheerleader and you save the world, wasn't it? And it was all like leading to that big confrontation at the end. And it was such a nice finite ending. And they probably wrote it like that. And they're like, oh, this is done well. What should we do now? And then they have to kind of extend it. And it felt like you could really notice that, sometimes people can get away with doing something else with it and it's not quite as obvious, but it felt a bit like, oh, you're just trying to extend this, aren't you?
It does feel like that,
yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool though when they were bringing in the older crowd, like the previous generation. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I did really enjoy that. I read an article recently about the Heroes stuff, and they were saying that this article was the opinion of the article was that season 4 was pretty good. They were saying they were ranking them. They were saying season 3. And that Heroes Reborn, those ones were ranked towards the bottom,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I did like season 4 quite a bit.
Too young to love Baker.
Yeah. Yeah, it is an age thing, I think. It is. And also, to be fair, it's about pacing. The pacing of TV shows is so different now. And that's why I said if you've got the patience for the early stuff, I think you'd find it rewarding. But a lot of people might just think, "Oh my God, get on with it." They'd want to play. They'd want to play it on times 2, So the pacing is very different. That's because TV was like that in those days. It's different.
Yeah.
It's like going to church
That's
Oh,
cool. Like
see?
going
I haven't
Oh
seen it either.
my.
Okay, just trying to catch up here.
yeah, that's cool. Tom Baker with the master. He was the best master by a mile.
In for
In
your
Fury Road, Roger Mac- Oh, there you go. So there is a reference to his wife later. That's good. I like that. So in general, there's no much doesn't seem to be much continuity, but that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
I'm not following. What are we talking about here?
So after Sean Connery stopped being James Bond,
Okay.
he did like I don't know 5 or 6 films. There was one film called On Her Majesty's Secret Service where George Lazenby played James Bond, and then Diana Rigg was the female lead in that one, and they get married in it. And then she dies in the film. Spoilers. And and I was just making a comment that I don't think it's ever been referenced the fact that he was married, but then clearly it has been. So I was talking out my arse.
Let me just catch up here. Killed the end of
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there was a point after that, and no one wanted to bring it up.
Yes,
Biscuits and gravy. Oh, ow! What are you doing? Well, they're not proper biscuits. They're like
Airplane
buns or something,
treats.
aren't
Okay.
they? Plain treats. This is probably Biscoff, isn't it?
Cinnamon liquor.
Good point. It's a Biscoff cream, so you got like well, you probably know what this is like because you probably have this over there, don't you?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah. I don't know. Is it a requirement?
Dave just sacked himself.
You want to disqualify yourself like that, Dave?
Don't trust. That's like someone saying they don't like the Muppets. Don't trust someone who doesn't eat biscuits.
It's cult-like status.
Oh, you can buy them at
They're
Aldi.
delicious.
That's nice.
Biscoff. Or you can go to this Pure, well, I forget what it's called. Pure 41? Pure, I don't remember what it was, but this Biscotti store. Box of those. I ate the whole box of those maple biscuits. Oh, you had them? I really need to go back to Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is a great. Do you have Trader Joe's around you, Chaz?
Yeah. There's one not too far from where I live. Yeah,
That's
I
a
haven't
great
been there in
source.
years though.
Oh, you should go. That's a great source of all sorts of like great cookies.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and check it out. I do most of my grocery shopping at the local Kroger store because I get gas points. But
well, Ralph making an appearance here or what, Gareth?
He's staring at me. Well, kind of staring. I can't tell. He's as you know, he's full of hair. I think he's asleep. But you know what they're like? Some of those dogs stare at you while they're asleep. It's very eerie, isn't it?
Dave said
I picked him up and
maple biscuits.
He'd rather have these Olive's jerky treats than the maple biscuits.
You can have one of them. Go on, Dave. Eat it.
That's a different show, Gareth. That's a different show.
Survivor.
That's the one where Olive presents it. We don't want the son getting fed.
Oh, Rachel Ray makes dog food. Check that out. It's probably pricey.
Probably, yeah. Everything Rachel Ray is pricey.
I heard dogs love coconut because it's good for their hair.
Oh.
I didn't know that. I'll be so happy.
Yeah.
Coconut to dog.
Feed coconut to a dog with mange.
I was staring at Dave and the biscuits. His pen.
Okay.
Oh, I remember just talking about that book. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like them. Well,
straight up extreme horror. It is straight up extreme horror. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for extreme horror myself.
No. What's like the most extreme horror you've read? You think?
Well, probably the Hellbound Heart.
Oh, Hellbound Heart. I read that last Horror Mayhem.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's probably the most extreme that I read.
It is quite extreme, yeah.
Oh, actually,
it's quite icky.
I take that back. I think American Psycho is more extreme. I hated
Mhm.
it. I got to the end of that book and I wished I'd never read it. I really did. It was awful.
You find it really depressing.
Yeah, very, very depressing, just brutal in so many aspects. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad. But a lot of people
Um,
like it. That's just my opinion.
yeah. That's fair enough. I haven't read it, so I haven't had the urge to read it. But maybe I'll read it out of curiosity.
Saw the
Um,
movie, but you haven't read it.
Yeah, no, I've seen the film. Yeah, the
Bulgarian.
Bulgarian. Paul Gara. Paul Gara is the kind of a mentor, but kind of starts off as an aunt character to the main character, and then becomes like an important female mentor. But yeah, no, she's an awesome character. Yeah, I do love the Bulgarian, and like we were saying, I can separate the two things. I don't really want to know too much details about what he did, really.
No. Interesting variant is one of the oldest books of the sword. I started reading Sanders by Edgar Wallace, which was the first of his African
Oh,
adventures.
I haven't heard of Edgar Wallace.
Neither.
Yeah.
It's the racist thing I've ever read.
Mm.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in the book, then that's different, isn't it? I mean, I think usually people try and argue the case for not reading something when it's not in the book. And
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Rumpus likes Wyndham. Those are three strongest.
Hey, Rumpus is back.
Shouldn't go wrong with him. Off Trader Joe's. He's got
in the dispensary. Nice.
Yeah, Chucky's good. I read that this year.
Yeah, I remember you
good.
talking about Chalky. Yeah.
Yeah, fun.
Tumaki is an old ocean home. A retired man getting back into being a painter comes across some super scary supernatural stuff. Very scary. No spiders.
Sounds good.
Huh.
Yes, with Stephen King.
It's quite a big one, I think. Tumaki.
Is
it? It's like a 500-page one, I think. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I mean, aren't most of his pretty thick?
A lot of them are, yeah.
I find that I tend to prefer his shorter ones over his big chunky tomes.
Yeah.
Well, I always kind of resist the bigger ones, but then some of my favorites are bigger ones. So my two favorites are two of his biggest. So, you know, clearly it can work.
Which are it?
Needful Things and 11/22/63.
Oh, right.
Okay, yeah. Nice. I haven't read Needful Things or 11/22. But
out of the two, because I think Needful Things, I get why people don't like Needful Things. I would recommend 11/22/63 to anybody.
Yeah.
Did you watch the show for that?
No, I haven't seen the show. If you're serious, I don't know how to see it. If you know what I mean, I don't know where it is, what streaming service it's on or whatever. But
it was.
Yeah, I probably would watch it.
Over here, it was on Hulu, but.
Hulu.
Yeah,
if it was Hulu, it might be on Disney Plus.
I saw a TV. I think it was a TV movie back in the day of Needful Things, though, and that was really good.
Really?
Max von Sydow played Mr. What's his name? The shop owner.
Is it Mr. Gaunt?
Yeah, Mr. Gaunt or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something. Yeah, but, that's cool.
Max
good acting too for that.
Max von Sydow is brilliant.
Yeah, you know, he is absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
That's that.
Lane's just said, I can see on my TV. The Lane's just said that 11/22/63 was on Prime.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
It was on over here. It was on Hulu at one point.
It was on Hulu for us at one point. Yeah.
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 It's funny how it's different. Pomodoro Kitty is an example of a Pomodoro.
Text. In our case, reading. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Check that
Karen
out.
Gillan. Yeah, I think she's amazing. And yeah, she's really funny in Jumanji films. Yeah, she's brilliant. Yeah.
Dalton was also great in Doom Patrol. I didn't see that. Have you seen that, you guys?
No, I haven't seen that. But he was brilliant in Hot Fuzz as well. You seen Hot Fuzz?
I don't think so. No.
You got to see Hot Fuzz.
In Hot Fuzz.
Right.
Nope.
That's your mission. That's that. We've added a bit of homework for this. For
Hot Fuzz?
Gotta see
this
Hot
show.
Fuzz.
Yeah. So obviously, do you know anything about Hot Fuzz?
No,
Is
isn't it?
that the one with Simon Pegg? Is Simon Pegg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he's good.
Yeah. So they nicknamed those 3 films the Cornetto trilogy, and it's only because there's literally a cornetto rapper in all 3 films. That's the only reason why they call it that. And the first one is Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of
So
the
you've
Dead,
seen
Shaun of the Dead. I've heard of
Yeah, that was
one,
good.
Yeah. Have you not seen that, Chaz?
I haven't seen Shaun of the Dead. No, I haven't seen any of those movies.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Movies
It's
I've
really
seen
funny.
Simon Pegg in were Star Trek and what's the Mission Impossible movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty crazy that he's moved on to Mission Impossible, right?
Yeah.
From
Yeah, he's done
Shaun
really
of the
well.
Dead.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When he started off as a sitcom writer, because the first thing he was famous for over here, he was in a sketch show which is amazing called Big Train. And if you just look up YouTube, some Big Train clips, they're quite amazing. But yeah, some of it's quite full on. And then he and another comedian or comedy writer wrote a series that was designed for young people called Spaced. And it's so brilliant. And it was actually directed by Edgar Wright. So they kind of met on, I think they met on a previous show, but they came together to do Spaced. And that was 2 seasons, really, really good comedy. And then they did Shaun of the Dead with Edgar Wright after that.
Okay.
And then obviously they did Hot Fuzz and The World's End were the other 2.
Okay.
But yeah, Timothy Dalton is a really big actor in Hot Fuzz.
Okay, that's cool.
I only saw Shaun of the Dead, so maybe I got to watch one of these other ones.
Yeah,
I should watch Hot Fuzz next. Should I watch them in that order?
Hot Fuzz. Some people say that they like it more than Shaun of the Dead. My son got obsessed with it. He kept watching it over and over again. It's like, you watching that again? He goes, yeah. And I remember we were in a hotel somewhere on one of our family trips, and we put the TV on, and Hot Fuzz was on. I said, "You're going to watch that again?" He went, "Yeah." He's like seen it about 100 times, but it doesn't get stale. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I saw it in the cinema, and I'll never forget. There's a moment. I don't know if anyone is watching this. Chaz, you've seen Hot Fuzz, right?
I haven't seen Hot Fuzz. No.
Oh, okay. I'm not spoiling anything by saying that there's an amazing bit at the end where there's that. It plays on lots of tropes. It kind of takes the piss out of some things that happen in action films, right? Yeah. And he kind of goes away from the village and comes back as if to go, "No, I'm going to face this thing. I'm gonna tackle it head on," sort of thing. And he goes and he's sort of like strutting into the village again. And this woman, this old woman, points a gun at him, and he just does a what do they call it, like a drop kick, and kicks her in the face. And it's this old woman. It's so funny, and the timing is brilliant, because she's an old woman. And in the cinema, the whole cinema roared with laughter when it happened. It was so cool to watch that in the cinema. It was just like just like really quick, and then it just kicks her in the face. She's like,
oh my god,
brilliant.
He's having a blast just reliving it.
Well, it's like earlier when I sent Dave a message because I started talking to my students about Time Bandits, and then they'd never heard of it. I said, "You got to watch this," and I showed them a clip, of the Robin Hood bit, and I was like in tears on the message to Dave, talking about the bit where they're giving the poor the food and that, and then there's a guy just keeps punching them in the face for no reason, and he's like, "Is this necessary?" "Oh yeah, it is, sir."
Have you seen that, Jess? Time Bandits?
Time Bandits.
Time Bandits, no.
Oh.
It's
I don't know. That's one of those things like I'm tempted to say, "Oh, you got to go watch that," but I don't know if you really should go watch that.
You didn't like it much, did you?
Not quite sure.
No, I mean, it was fun, but it was like, I don't know.
It's quite mad.
I hadn't seen it since I was a teen,
Yeah.
when we watched it, what was that, a couple months ago, right? And so
yeah.
I just remembered it Yeah, so we were talking about before, things are very different when you're a teenager and when you're 50, right? So like I just remembered it being better than that.
I think it's a masterpiece. All right.
Yeah. But well, the important thing is you were cracking up, but when you sent the message, but were your students cracking up? Did they think it was as funny as you did?
They thought they just thought it was really weird. They were like going, they couldn't get over the fact that what was happening on it just seemed weird to them. I was just like, just enjoy the comedy, man. Yeah.
Stupid first, the worst months forever. 45 minutes behind
45
on
minutes
comments.
behind.
We are we
Oh,
still?
somebody's keeping track of us here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
We're not that bad anymore. We were when he left that though. I don't think that's the record at least. That's true. Oh, sorry guys. We got to get better. We're good at digressions.
Yeah, we're just
All
chatting.
good.
We're just
We are
chatting.
good at digressions. The most extreme bit of writing I've read was not a horror novel. It was the eyeball scene in the Five Fingers.
Oh, okay.
My most reviewed.
Interesting. I haven't heard of that.
Huh.
5 fingers. But it wasn't a horror. And it's the eyeballs thing.
5 Fingers. I write all these things down. I don't know when I'm going to get to them, but
You got a book called "Is This Thing On?"
5 Fingers. Okay, check that out. Just watch it on Prime. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's
But I
on
don't-
Prime.
So I am curious. Actually, it'd be interesting to see how they've done it.
Currently reading. Oh, okay. William's currently reading it. Hot
Nice.
Fuzz is my favorite. Okay. Peter Jackson
Oh,
is in
Peter
Hot
Jackson's
Fuzz.
in it too. Oh.
Yeah, raise a cameo. Yeah.
By the way, I prefer to put the day before the month. Does not roll off the tongue very well. Yeah.
Yeah, and William's
That's
American, isn't he? Isn't he?
Yeah.
Is William American? Yeah.
No.
What's the date? No.
No.
William?
That's,
I thought
No,
William was
well,
American.
I think that's John William Gwynn, John's son.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, he
I think he lives in Indonesia, doesn't he? But I
I
think,
think so.
he's American.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right. But yeah, I mean, over here we put
he's
the
a Brit.
we put it in order of size of the calendar, but you guys mix it up, don't you?
What's that?
We put the date and then the month and then the year, and you put the
Oh.
month and then the date and then the year, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to be this actually I have to be very careful with this because I'm constantly dealing with my counterparts in Europe, and I always have to be very careful with the dates. I either have to write it out or I have to write it like their way, or it's like constant.
Yeah.
A lot of times you know, right? Like 22/11/63, you know which one is the day and which one's a month, but a lot of times you don't.
Yeah. It's
You
like
know?
the 5th of April or something. Then it could
Yeah.
be May the 4th. Yeah. But when I first read it and I was going around telling people, oh, this book's great, I kept saying 11/22/63, and I've got, hold on a minute, no, 22/11/63. You know,
We're
No, the other way
caught
around.
up. We're caught up.
whoa,
What
that means
do
we're
you
not
think of
talking
that, Dave? We're going.
that means we're ignoring times if we're caught up. Oh, Indonesian, there we go. Oh, okay,
Okay.
that's cool. I knew you lived in Indonesia, but I thought you moved there rather than you were there. 63/11/22. Whoa, do they?
Okay. That's a bit much.
Jeez.
But yeah, it's
So this-
interesting, isn't it? That this random things that change, you know, seems an interesting thing that it's
Yeah.
different over there.
All right, so since we're
Yeah.
all caught up, should we talk about what we've been reading?
Yeah,
Sure.
you go first, Dave.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. I'm going to eat a biscuit.
It's because we gave up on commenting. That's probably partially true because people get frustrated because we're so far behind. I know it ties into the whole plot, but that tree village in Hot Fudge is creepy as hell. I'm probably gonna go watch this like later tonight, like when I should be sleeping. But all right. So what am I reading? I am reading some really, really nice booktuber sent me this book.
I know that guy. He's a lovely guy.
He's a lovely guy. He's yeah, and very handsome too. He's a very handsome, lovely guy.
I think his name's Gareth too.
Yeah, I read that Whimper. So I just completed my first week. I read that the Whimper of Whipped Dogs, and wow, that was a really good story, especially from this area, because that was like a common. I mean, one of the things was commentary on New York life, right, and surviving as a New Yorker. So that was pretty cool being around here reading that story.
Yeah, that's the first Ellison you've read, isn't it?
That's the first Ellison I've read. That's the first Ellison I read. And I read Quitters Inc. because you told me to out of Night Shift.
What a story!
That was a good story. Yeah, but I think you told me it was from Cat's Eye. Yeah. And then I don't have it here. The novella I read was Stephen Graham Jones, Mapping the Interior.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, so what I'm into now is this is the book I was talking about last week. I'm a little bit into it. This remember that I told you indie author reached out to me about this?
Oh yeah. You good?
Yeah, it is pretty good. It's not. I mean, it's not a Pulitzer Prize winner, right? But I like this kind of thing. It's like it's they're devils and demons and stuff, but it's got that like constant touch of comedy to it. So it's like, I mean, it's violent. It's like I think you would actually love it because it's full of like one demon telling another one to shut up and then kicking them in the face, and that sort of thing. So you would probably, I think it's like right up your alley.
Sounds like Three Stooges.
Yeah. But I'm what am I, third of the way through, and I am enjoying it so far. I am.
That's cool. I'll look into it.
And I'm just about done. I'm almost done with Psycho.
Oh, I like Psycho.
Yeah.
Someone said they didn't like. It was MJ said they didn't like the ending.
Okay, well, I've got a very tiny little bit left, so don't tell. I mean, I think I know what the ending is. I think we all know what the ending is. But if there's something besides the ending, we all know. Don't say it.
Yeah, but I don't remember what she said she didn't like. I don't remember that, so I might read it again in case I feel the same. But yeah,
I mean,
it's more than the ending.
I mean, like I mean, I think everybody knows what the twist of that story is because it's so old.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I'm telling, even though I know what happens, you know what I mean? I'm actually already past that part now. It's already come out and everything, but I've still really enjoyed it. I mean, I've really enjoyed that.
I think it's really well written.
It is really well written, and I think it's really cool when they do it. I mean, the narrative is from a couple different people's perspectives, but it's the parts that are from Norman Bates's perspective, which is a lot of it, is really, really well done. I think really well done.
Yeah.
Have you read that, Chaz?
I haven't. No, I've seen the movie several times. But
it's definitely it's one of those ones. Sometimes you see the movie and you're like, oh, I'm not going to bother reading it now. Like you should definitely. It's definitely well worth reading, and it's not that long.
Yeah.
So
what was this? So did the movie come first and then the novelization, or was the movie based off the novel?
No, the movie was based off the novel, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this morning I just read The Ledge, Stephen King's The Ledge.
Oh, nice.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's really good,
also very vaguely recognized that one too, but that's because that's also was in Cat's Eye, the movie Cat's
Eye. Yeah.
That was good.
Going back to Psycho, one of the things that I love about the film, which might be obvious, but as a music teacher, I've used that film when I've done the film score unit, and Bernard Herrmann's. And actually the way it's filmed, the way the shower scene's filmed, and Bernard Herrmann's score for that bit is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's so powerful and it's so interesting the way that they decided to do it, isn't it?
You
don't see any. If you took the music away, it just looks weird. It doesn't. You can't really tell what's going on.
But there's so many things like that, right? I mean, the music, like such a critical part of the
Yeah.
oops.
That's why I get all excited when I teach. I don't know when the next time will be that I teach that unit, but I've done it several times, and I get so excited because music schools are incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Traders of live music. I meant
I don't know what that means.
traders. The first year standard.
Year
Oh, I
first
think
is
he's
standard.
talking about the order of the dates, like 11/22/63.
Oh,
I think
Oh.
yeah, I think
okay.
he's talking about the order of the dates.
So live music events. Okay.
Psycho based on real life serial killer Ed G.
Game.
Can't remember his
Ed
last name.
Game. Yeah, I think it's
Oh.
Game. I think it's Ed Game.
Okay. The author of The Five Fingers is Gail Rivers, co-authored with James Hudson. What's The
Okay.
Five Fingers?
That was the
That's
one
the
that
one-
William
Oh,
said
that was the one I just
most
wrote down.
extreme-
Yeah.
The most extreme thing he's ever read. There's an eyeball scene in it.
Gail Rivers. Okay.
I tell you what, have I got access to it? No, it's in the corridor. I talking about eyeballs. One of the things I just read. I'm going to jump ahead for a second because I read a story by N.K. Jemisin in the Jordan Peele edited book Out There Screaming, which is all black authors writing horror stories.
Right.
And it's really cool. It's a really good story. It's about kind of police corruption and the whole way that black population have to be careful how they speak to the police, and I'm just going to get this out of my pocket, but it's just it's just a wallet and all that sort of crap. And it's really, really so brilliantly written, and the concept behind it is really cool. And clearly the policeman's losing his mind a little bit, and you wonder if it's kind of out of guilt because of he's an awful person, and some of the things he's done for his job. It's really, really cool. It's really good. It's really, really good.
What
So
was
it's
the name
nice.
of it?
So that's called Reckless Eyeballing.
Okay.
Reckless
I
Eyeball.
haven't heard of that one. I read several of N.K. Jemison's books and really liked them.
Yeah. I've only read the 5th season, the first one of the Broken Earth trilogy.
Yeah, I read that whole series, and I read the Great Cities books, The City We Became and The World We Made. Both of those were excellent.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, The City We Became is quite high concept, isn't it? It's like it's like all the different districts of New York have got personalities, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's really cleverly done.
Yeah.
I'm trying to check. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. I was just checking. There was another Jemison book that I was a story that I was trying to look up.
The middle part of the 5th season is in second person, isn't it?
Yeah. There's several sections of those books that are written in second person. It's wild, but
yeah,
you get used to it after a while.
Yeah. It's a very interesting decision to make. I mean, as a writer, I want to go first person, and I realize if I go first person, there's some things I can't do to this character because it's from their perspective. So, do I want to go? Do I want to go down that road? And you can box yourself in a little bit, can't you?
Yeah, Emergency Skin. That was
I've heard of that one. Yeah, that's on my list to read. Yeah.
That was really, really good. That was about, I don't know if it still is, but when I read it, you could read it for free. It is as part of Prime. Blake Crouch did this collection, put together this collection of, I think it was 6 like little novellas in one collection. I think it was called Forward. And
one of them was by Andy Weir, wasn't
it?
I think that might be right.
I think so. I think he did The Egg. I think it's called The Egg.
Yes. Randomize. It was called Randomize.
Oh.
Randomize, yeah. That was almost all a very good collection. Crouch's story was really, that was really creepy. I forget what the name of that one was.
It's so good. I think it's so good.
Yeah. But Jemison's story was great. That was really, really good in there. I'd highly recommend that if anybody, they can just go read it on Prime for free. It's Amazon original. Wait, did I freeze?
Yeah, you're frozen.
Oh,
You know,
that's my regularly
you know,
scheduled freeze. Damn
you're
it.
just a ghost. We can still hear you.
I know.
Yeah, we can hear
And
you.
and the way that that's frozen, you look gorgeous.
That's my sexy pose you're seeing right there. All right, I'll be right back.
See you in a minute. Right, so Dave, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we can talk about him while he's gone.
Yeah, so yeah, N.K. Jemisin is definitely someone who's got a lot of like notoriety, very well renowned and stuff. But you've read a lot of her stuff, yeah?
Yeah. I read all of the Broken Earth books, the 5th season. I read both of the Great Cities, the one set in New York. I still want to read the she's got another one like the Something Blood duology.
Okay.
I forget the full name of it. And then
Did
she's
you
got,
have you read there's a short story collection she wrote called When Will There Be a Black Future Month? I think it's called.
yeah, How Long Till Black Future Month. Yeah, I've been wanting to read that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always intrigued by it. Yeah, I like it. If you really like an author, it's interesting to see whether they're any different as a short story writer. You know,
Yeah.
some people really like relish the world building and the characterization and stuff like that, and some people like are good at doing that short, sharp shock with the short story. You know, and some good. I mean, Stephen King's good at both. So
Yeah.
Um,
It's hard to find authors who are good at both. I have a feeling that N.K. Jemisin, it sounds like she's good at both. Neil Gaiman's good at both.
yeah, he's good at both. I was a bit gutted that I didn't feel like John Wyndham was good at both. I think he's much better as a novelist than as a short story writer. A lot of the short stories were all right, but nothing really grabbed me. Whereas I love his novels, so that was interesting. I was going to look again into H.G. Wells' stories because I read his short stories when I was really young, and that was kind of the first things I read by H.G. Wells. And it'd be interesting to read them again because I love his novels. Do you like H.G. Wells?
I have never read any of H.G. Wells' stuff. I wanted to though. The Time Machine is on my list. Let's see, War of the Worlds was H.G. Wells as well, right? Yeah, that's on my list to read. So, yeah.
My two favorites are actually The Invisible Man and Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh yeah, that one's on my list to read as well. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, and I think it's quite influential as well. Really, to be fair.
Yeah. It does influence a lot of people.
Have you done a deep dive on an author on your channel? I haven't noticed that on your channel yet. Have you done anything like that?
I did a deep dive on Neil Gaiman, but it's been a long time. I probably need to do an updated one. Where to start with Neil Gaiman, and
we were talking about actually that might be the thing I was trying to think of. I was trying to basically we were talking about doing a Neil Gaiman project.
Oh yeah.
Where we pick Neil Gaiman books to read as a group. Because I've read some of his stuff, but actually a lot of what I've read could do with a reread because it's so long ago. So, but I'm a big fan, and I do love what he does, and I've known his stuff since I was a kid. So, been a fan for a long time. Dave.
Dave's back.
I don't know why that happens every single time, right around this time.
When it happens on your stream, then the comments freeze, don't they? Because we can't move them forward. But yeah, well, I was just saying to Chaz about the Neil Gaiman project we were discussing, whether or not to do that.
Yeah, the Gaming Games. Is that the title?
The Gaming Games.
That's the working title, Gaming Games.
Yeah, we don't know what. Yeah, don't want to call it yet. But yeah, that's one of the things we're proving. Gaming Games.
Are we gonna do that? Because I was kind of excited.
I think it'd be really good. Yeah. So we were talking about it with Joe from Book Buds, and I know MJ's a massive gaming fan. You're a big gaming fan, so we might be able to choose the right one to read together. I don't know, but it'll be cool because I think a lot of people love him, but I don't know. It seems like people talk about him in passing because I need to look at your videos about Neil Gaiman, but a lot of people don't necessarily. I don't see a lot of people. It seems like people have already read it and don't go on about them stuff as much. It seems. I don't know. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to actually do a project where we talk on, like, do live streams about him, and that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be a lot. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I've read most of his stuff. There's a few that I still haven't read, but only a couple books really that I haven't read. So,
did you see my video last week when I went down to the ocean at the end of the lane?
Yes, I did. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I wanted to include that. It was really funny because I wasn't going to post that video until I went down there, and I actually said to my wife, "Can we drive past Canoe Lake?" And she's like, "Why? I need to nip out of the car, do a quick video. It would take like 10 minutes, and it was all a bit of a rush, but it was all good. So I could post it."
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's my favorite gaming book.
Yeah, it's a lovely book.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Did you ever read that one, Dave?
Yeah.
That? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a good time with that one. That was I might have told you the story. I don't know if I told you the story. That's the one that I had to buy twice because I spilled red wine on it while I was reading.
Got a little tipsy, spilled the wine.
Yeah, Dave's right. It is a bit of a reveal at the end. Spoilers.
Yeah, that's another one I haven't read.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know when books are that old. Sometimes I have to wade through the language, but it's a classic for all the right reasons. You know, it's got an interesting perspective on that kind of, I don't know, sort of split personality or mental health issues, or the demon within us kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try to catch up here. Collection. Stephen King does third person omniscience. Sweet. We were all caught up. We're doing so good there.
I know.
Well.
No, you're getting there. Hi,
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Rebecca Nicole. Hi, Rebecca. War of the Worlds, my favorite. Moreau Creepy.
Yeah.
We love gaming.
Yeah.
Gene Wolfe's short story, The Island of Dr. Death and Other Stories, makes for a very touching companion to The Island of Dr. Moreau.
That's cool. I'll look that up.
Okay.
I really, really love the Dr. Moreau original book. There's a new one in there. The is it the author that did Mexican Gothic? Is it who did like some sort of play on it? Like,
oh yeah, the
daughter of Dr. Moreau. The daughter of Dr. Moreau. Yeah.
Maria Moreno Garcia. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't read it, but I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't read it. I've heard about it. I've got a Waterstones full stamp thing, so I've got £10 to spend at Waterstones.
Ah.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
So
what I might do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say again?
No, go ahead.
Well, in June, there's going to be a new book, which I'll have all the material, but I'm a bit of a collector. There's a new book coming out called Harlan Ellison's Greatest Hits. And it's I think there's an introduction by Neil Gaiman in that, I think. But I might just put a deposit on it, and so when it comes out in June, I just have it. It'll feel like a gift, wouldn't it? So I might do that.
Right.
A little gift to yourself.
Yeah. Like, oh, cool.
Gifting yourself, right?
Yeah. Well, especially when it's a book I don't need to have because I've got all the stories already. Yeah.
All right, so Chaz, what have you been reading, man?
Oh yeah, so I've got 3 books going right now. I'm reading. So my patron pick for the month or for this quarter was Dialtop Pass by I forget
Mhm.
I forget the author's name right now, but it's kind of a historical fiction, but also kind of bordering on horror and supernatural. Back in the 50s, there was a group of uh, people that went on an expedition in the snow-capped mountains of Russia, and just ended up dying there. And they called it Dialtov Pass in honor of the guy who like took charge of the expedition. So this book is kind of a play on that story, but trying to solve the mystery of what happened there. And it seems like it's got some supernatural elements to it where, they're probably going to play it off like, oh, they got slaughtered by monsters or aliens or whatever. So I don't know, but it's really, really good. It's a quick read too. So I'm reading that one. And then I'm also reading Empire of the Damned by Jay Kristoff.
Hmm.
That's the sequel to Empire of the Vampire.
Speaking of which, he's one of the ones that people want to cancel, right? Because of some alleged issues. I don't even know anything about it, but
yeah, I've heard a little bit of the scuttlebutt. I don't know too much about it, but these are the only books I've read by him, and they're brilliant. Empire of the Vampire was in my top 10 last year, and this
awesome.
one's fixing to be just as good.
Awesome.
So so I'm reading that one, and then I'm also reading Tigana by Guy Gabriel Kay. And I'm liking that one.
When you've got loads on the go like that, do you read them in different places, or do you read one for a couple of days and then pick another one? How do you read them at all the same time?
Yeah, I trade off. Actually, I have them both look in my lap at the same time, going back. No, I'm kidding. Usually I'll take, one day I'll pick up one book, and then the next day I'll pick up the other one, or a lot of times it just depends on my mood too and how busy I am. So
and clearly the different books got a different character, haven't they? And if you're like, well, actually I'm in the mood for that in a minute, and you can have a bit of that.
That friend I was telling you that lived in Tucson, that is now a professor at Cornell. He would the place he used to live. He had an upstairs book and a downstairs book. He always had one going on each floor wherever he was.
That's great. That's actually a pretty good idea. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's great.
I saw you just oh wait. Brian, you're caught. We are indeed, Rage, caught up. For now, that's true. It's like books where everyone knows the ending. Yeah, true.
Yeah. But that's why the writing's so important, because if you know the ending and the writing's great, it doesn't matter. Doesn't it?
I saw Chaz. I saw you recently talking about Schwab, and you had read Vicious, and you were talking about reading more Victoria Schwab, and so I had to bring it up because I friggin' loved that book.
Vicious.
Yeah, Vicious. Yeah.
Vicious.
Did you read it, Gareth?
It was one of the first books I've reviewed on my channel.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah. The first proper. So I did. The first book related video I did on this channel was 5 recommended books, and one of them was Vicious.
Nice. It's a great book. I absolutely loved it. Really cool concept.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember. I think that was shortly before I started BookTube. It was just a few years ago I read it.
Yeah.
I think that was right before I started BookTube. So I'd have to go back and check my Goodreads or something. But I that may have been my favorite book of that year. If not, it was top 2 or 3. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
That was one of those rare books. This has not happened to me a lot. People always say this, I couldn't put it down. That rarely happens to me, where I literally can't put it down, and if I go do something else, I'm hyper to get back to it so I can keep reading it.
Yeah.
That happened with that book. I was I love that book so much.
Yeah.
That happened for me. So yeah, and again, it doesn't happen very often. And when it does, it's such a wonderful thing. And yeah, it happened for me. I immediately bought the sequel,
Mm-hmm.
and that was 3 years ago. And yeah,
Same here. Same here. Should we add that to the buddy read list?
yeah. Is it called
Sitting over
Vengeful
there
or
on the
something?
shelf. What?
Yeah, I've
Is it
got
called
this.
Vengeful? Is it
Yeah, Vengeful, right? Yeah.
Vengeful?
And then
Yeah.
I guess there's gonna be a third book in the series called Victorious.
Oh, is that
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, she hasn't written it yet, though, or at least she hasn't finished. I don't know if she's started yet, but yeah, I'm for the longest time I thought it was just going to be a duology, but apparently she planned a trilogy for it. So
Man,
Oh, okay.
she's pretty prolific. That one.
She
Yeah,
is.
she writes tons of stuff.
She's gonna
I've
be
got
like,
several of her books here on
gonna be the
the
Tchaikovsky of fantasy, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But she's got those two sides, because she does the V.E. Schwab stuff and the Victoria Schwab, doesn't she? She does the YA stuff and the general stuff.
Yeah. Recently, I think like last year or the year before, she made an announcement that she was bringing everything under V.E. Schwab now. She's combining everything. So
okay.
yeah, I can
To be
imagine
fair,
having two different pen names could get a little bit hard to regulate.
Yeah.
But
And let's face it, if you books, you don't have to have a different name for a reader to find out what kind of book it is.
yeah, right.
You'll find out soon enough, and you can have little clues on the back and all that, So it's a bit extreme to change your name just to give people that thing. But yeah, that's all read Vengeful then.
Yeah. Well, we should. That's what I was saying. I don't know why. I can't believe it's been sitting on. I loved it so much. I can't believe the second one's just been sitting
The trouble
there.
is, after a while, you think, well, I'm gonna have to read the first book again because I can't remember all the characters and all that. That's how I feel like. I feel like, oh, I'm gonna read that again before I read that one.
I could still go into that one. It's not that long ago. I can go into the second one.
Yeah.
What else?
I had the advantage of just having recently read it.
Yeah. We should. Should we schedule buddy read? Not schedule, but you want to do buddy read for that?
Yeah, no, I'm up for that. I am up for that. So,
Chaz, you up for that?
Yeah, I'd be up for that, depending on when you guys want to do it. For the longest time, like I'm trying to get all of my physical books on my shelf read, and so I got this. I call it the Stein of Power. I got myself a Stein, and I put the names of all the books in there, and then I just draw them out of it. So Vish has happened to be the one for last month. But yeah, I could just take it out of the Stein of Power and just buddy read it with you guys whenever you want.
Yeah.
I'm game.
We'll put in for sometime in June, July or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah. That would probably work. Yeah, let me know. Probably, actually, I think July might work if that's good with you guys.
Yeah. I have lots of people in July.
Isn't July our what's Rocket Summer? Is that July?
Yeah, Rocket Summer's in July, and also I'll be in the middle of Book Trek, and I'm doing the Historathon, and I'll still be doing my Ray Bradbury, and I've got the banned books. Oh my God, there's too many events.
I'm thinking maybe what about either June or September? Would one of those work?
Yeah.
I can't do anything else during August. It's all garbage. I can't do anything else.
You want to delve deep into the track.
I could swing.
You do Garb August, Chaz?
Chaz, you do Garb August?
I don't.
Oh.
Is that because you feel like, why would you do that?
Yeah, I've thought about it. I never know what necessarily qualifies for Garb August. Like
when it comes along, Ollie does a video every 2 days telling you what it is. So just gotta catch him. He'll tell you over and over again.
Yeah.
I love it. He goes, "I'm gonna do a video where I tell you about God." Okay, Ollie, you go for it, mate.
I could probably squeeze Vengeful in June if you want to, or September, whichever,
Yeah. Let's go September.
Okay.
What's that?
September.
September. We've said it in public. If anyone else wants to join us,
Yeah.
you've
That
got a
gives
couple of
you
months
all-
to read books.
It gives you all time to get the book.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll be great because I've been meaning to read that. What else have you? Oh wait. Let's just get. I want to make sure we stay.
I haven't talked about what I've been reading. I had a bit of a thing today. When did this come out? I was going to talk about this.
Are you really a reader if you don't have?
You're
multiple
right.
books
You're right,
going?
Jenny. You're probably not. Probably not if you don't have multiple books going at the same time.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. I will be right back. Go to visit the loo.
Okay.
Awesome. This came out in 65. Yeah. Should I talk about what I've been reading? I mean,
Yeah. Hit it.
because I've been reading that stuff from Out There Screaming, which is the Jordan Peele edited book of black authors writing horror,
All
which is
right.
cool. And I've read some Clive Barker, which was good. And
like Books
this
of
little
Blood?
part of the yeah,
Books
yeah,
of
Books of Blood. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to him first because he's obviously a film director. He directed Nightbreed, didn't he? So it goes with the film prompt. But one of them, Meat something Market, I can't remember what it's called. That was made into a film, so it also fits the prompt. But in the little gap, which I've started the Ramsey Campbell book, so I'm still reading it, but it's good, so I'm enjoying that. And randomly, I had this book from the library and I needed to bring it back because it's overdue,
Okay.
and I was going to take it back on Saturday, and then I started reading it. I read the first couple of pages earlier, and I was like, "Ooh, it's not very long. It's 2 days. I can read this before I send it back. I can't get to the library until Saturday anyway,
All right.
so I'm going to read." So I've started reading it. It's really interesting. It's called Termish. Can you see that? Termish. Can you see that? Hold on.
Yeah, you got to put your hand in front of the. Yeah. All right. Termish. Yep.
Is that Termish by Evan Holm? No, sorry, Sven Holm. Yeah, Sven Holm, because it's translated. It's a translated work. It's got an introduction by Jeff Vandermeer. It's a really interesting kind of dystopian sort of nightmare, and it's all atmosphere. It's all like picking out what this character's going through, but it's not really spelled out what the dystopia is. It's really interesting, and I've got a feeling that's how it's going to keep going. I think it's going to be all atmosphere, but it's good.
Huh.
I like it. Yeah. So it kind of works as a horror book as well in a way, because it's such a nightmarish dystopia. So Termush, Termush. If anyone in the chat has read it, let me know, because it's interesting. I just found it randomly in the library and got it out.
Who's the
Sven Holm. Sven Holm.
H-O-L.
Presumably Scandinavian.
H-O-L.
Yeah, Holm. Translated by Sylvia Clayton. People always say who the translator is, and I always think, are there people that are really experts at the translators and go, oh great, I'll read that one. That's if it's translated by Sylvia Clayton, it's bound to be a good one.
Well, it depends. If it's like Homer, right? Then yeah, people know and they care about that, But
yeah. But do they? Does that translate?
Termish, probably nobody cares who the translator.
Yeah. But this is only. It wouldn't take long because the print's quite big and it's 100. It's like a novella, really. 117 pages.
Okay.
And like the print's quite big, so
pretty short.
it'll take long to. And they're very short chapters. How do you guys feel about the short chapter thing? Because I quite like it when you read like 5 pages and you're into another chapter. It keeps you going, doesn't it? Like, I'll read another one. I'll read another one. You end up reading 50 pages, you haven't even realized it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely tricks your mind into thinking you're actually like reading faster, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Claire North does that. So I've raved about Claire North a number of times, and I would recommend any books by her. But my 3 favorites are the first 15 lines of Harry August, the famous one, and Touch, and The Sudden Appearance of Hope. And she writes short chapters, and it just like you say, you just keep going, you keep reading it, and you go, "Oh wow, this is cool." I've read half the book and didn't even realize it. Yeah.
I read a
she's
lot
really
of my
good.
books on Kindle, and so I've got the little timer down there, and it'll tell me, oh, you've got 5 minutes left in this chapter, and I just started the chapter. I'm like, oh, hey, that's great. And
Yeah.
I'm reading Tigana right now, and I'm doing a buddy read with Rebecca here in the chat, and like I read a chapter today, and the chapter said an hour and a half to finish the chapter. I'm like, no, please, that's way too long for a chapter.
Yeah, because you'll get interrupted in that. It's like some books obviously vary. They'll have a short chapter, they'll have a long chapter, a short chapter, and like sometimes you think, oh well, I'll go a little further, and then you go, oh no, actually I'm gonna have to stop because something's happened, and you'll have a look to see, well, is there a break at any point in this chapter? And you go, oh my god, there's no break either. Damn, you think I'm gonna have to start the chapter again or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
And oh wait, let me just check. So Brian, I think Brian's referring to while he was on a 1 hour FaceTime call while we were catching up with the comments. I think that's books. Oh, Heidi's asking Jenny. I thought
Jenny,
that bother me, but you quickly don't even notice. Which one
Fractured
is that?
Timeline.
Neverwhere, Sorcery of the World, Amber Spyglass, and Stepford Wives. So Jenny is reading Jenny, the one that said, "Are you really a reader if you're not reading more than one book at a time?" Jenny apparently is reading 6 at one time.
Neverwhere's great, isn't it? I don't know about Meg too. Sorcery's really good. Sorcery's one of the best Pratchett ones that I've read.
I am determined to start Pratchett this year. Have you read Pratchett, Chaz?
I have. I read a few. He's honestly a little hit or miss for me. The first time I read Pratchett, I started with Color of Magic, which people told me was the bad choice. And I didn't care for Color of Magic too well. I liked it okay, but I did finish it. But then that was many years ago, and then a couple of years ago I read Hogfather, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
And then I read Guards and Men at Arms, and I liked both of those. And then I read Pyramids, which I hated. I DNF'd that one. I didn't finish Pyramids. But
right.
Yeah,
it varies a bit.
It's
funny how we feel. Go on.
Good Omens is brilliant, though. That's one of my favorites with him and Neil Gaiman.
Yeah. They were good friends, weren't they, in the end, which is great.
Yeah.
It's funny how you feel quite affectionate about how you discover an author, because I read Color of Magic first, because when I read it, that was the only Discworld book that was out. So I read it when I was a kid. So when people go, "Oh, don't even bother reading that," I'm like, "What? Hold on a minute. That was my entry into this world. What? So I always feel a little bit defensive of that book. And I remember it being great, but I was like 15, I think, when I read it. Yeah. The second one's better, I think. Light Fantastic's better. Okay. And Mort is my favorite Pratchett book, which is the fourth one.
Good. I haven't read any of the Death books yet, but I plan to.
Yeah. They're my favorite ones. The ones that Death's the main
Hogfather. Hogfather's a Death book, I guess. Yeah.
He's in. Reaper Man's good as well. I think Reaper Man is the one where he goes on holiday, I think, and someone else takes the job for him. Which done in Pratchett style, but there's also a Jose Saramago book that's really serious about the same thing. It's like 2 different approaches to death not doing their job properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think looking back, I might appreciate Color of Magic more on a reread at some point, so I might do that.
Maybe. It might be you're expecting something bigger than it was, because I think what people seem to love is, one, the social commentary stuff and the way that he combines lots of things together that are in other books. And clearly that's not going to happen in the first book. He spends a lot of Color of Magic just creating the Discworld, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So I think, I think that's part of the magic of it, that it was setting it up. You know.
Probably so. Yeah.
What's the Saramago one?
So the Saramago one's called Death at Intervals, and I really like him, but he's got a funny way of writing. It's very dry, and he's like one of those people that doesn't put inverted commas for dialogue and stuff like that, and you have to really concentrate. But I do like what he does, and Blindness is an absolute masterpiece.
Yeah, that was on my short list.
It's an incredible book. It's very bleak, but it's an incredible book. But yeah, Death at Intervals was interesting. And it clearly goes a lot deeper than Pratchett does. He does it for fun, whereas Saramago does it to analyze how society works and how we deal with mortality. You know.
Yeah.
And that's not really all of them. Wow. What are you reading?
Jenny's always got a whole slew of books she's reading.
I'm gonna reread this Dark Materials soon. I really want to do that. Maybe that could be for next year. But I really want to reread those books. I love the Dark Materials books.
Yeah.
Short stories. All right.
Nice.
Woo.
That's cool. Whoa, Dave.
Sorry.
What are you skipping over that for? What's going on?
We gotta leave that one open for.
Gonna leave that there for about an hour. All right, so we'll all go down go to the pub for a bit. We'll come back.
We've got to wait until Gareth can no longer fit his head through the door before we take it down.
No, Chaz, he hasn't said he likes it. He just said he's reading it. It's a bit scary. Trying to read it, he might be like, "This is shit. What is going on here?" But I'll tell you what, though, it might be worth me saying that I'll ask for advice from you guys and from anyone in the chat. So I've written 4 stories. I've got 2 other ideas. I've got about 8, but 2 that I definitely am going to write. So there's going to be 6 stories that are in this little clump of things that are in my brain. That's kind of this moment in time. So it's like a collection brewing, right?
Yeah.
But there's nothing. They're really serious. They're really like gruesome and nasty and horrible. And that's not. I'd rather write funny stuff. So do I wait and mix it with some funny stuff, which is kind of like the first collection? There's funny stories and there's serious stories. There's philosophical stories.
No.
Do I do this as a collection of dark stuff?
No. Do you have a middle initial?
Yeah, P. So
just put it out under GP Howells.
There we go.
There you go.
I like that. So everyone knows that when I'm in that dark mood, I've written some of it's horrible. It's like, what was I thinking when I wrote that? I mean, it started off with the garbology thing because the story in the garbology thing that's been accepted. I sent that to my daughter. So, what do you think? And she said she felt really uncomfortable reading it. So, like, job done. So yeah, sort of set me on that path, I think. But yeah, okay. So I need to change my name. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Switch the initials for that. That's how that's how the greats do it, Gareth.
Okay, so I'll pretend I'm great. No, I'm really excited. Well, am I excited? I'm very nervous of Brian reading it because Brian reads very important books.
Oh.
Yeah, who knows?
Halfway through.
I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. What's this one? I have it through Amherst on my glass for over a year. I'm
reading Tagana, The Will of the Many, Lost Art Dreaming, and I'm rereading A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet.
Oh yeah, that's the series I want to get to.
I think I'm the only one on this planet that didn't love that book.
I thought you were going to say you hadn't read it. You didn't like it.
No, I didn't dislike it. I just didn't. Everybody loves it, and I didn't love it. I mean, I thought it was okay.
There are people that don't. There's people that just don't. I mean, I won't name names. I won't go on about it. But I think it's hilarious that there's an expert on here on YouTube who says it isn't even science fiction.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
but
I love
yeah,
big
but
secrets.
he's got an agenda. But yeah, I mean, yeah, some people don't like the fact that there's not enough conflict in it. They say that Becky Chambers doesn't have enough plot, but I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, and I was disappointed by the Robot and Monk book that I read.
See, I'm still gonna try those. Yeah, see, I'm not gonna go further in the Wayfarer series like after the first one, but I said I'm I liked it well enough. I'll give her another try. So I tried her for um to be
Some
taught
for the Wild Bill.
to be taught
Oh,
if
to be taught. To be taught.
fortunate. I think isn't that then?
That's really good. That's just separate from everything. That's really good.
So I had the same reaction. I was like pretty decent, but I didn't love it. So I've liked her enough that I haven't like written her off or anything. So I do want to try the robot one.
Well, I don't know if you just put off the Wayfarers, but my favorite of those 4 books is actually the second one.
Okay.
And the whole thing is about 2 characters. So
Yeah,
it's like
that one's about the woman that like is in love with the AI or something. Is that
there's an AI
not the
character
AI?
that
Yeah,
well, it's not that they're not. I don't think they're in love. How long is it since I read it? They have this friendship, and they sort of have to learn to adjust to a new life, if you like, because the AI character was literally a ship's AI, and then they get this body that they have to live in.
yeah.
So that's explored really well. And then the other character is someone who grew up as a slave kind of character, and then they're kind of free, and they have to get used to being free. So it's kind of about that.
Okay.
It's really good. Yeah. But if you I think it is different enough from the first one that I think it might be worth you trying it.
Yeah. All right. I'll give it a try.
I didn't like the third one that much, I suppose, out of all of them. Although I've just noticed that Rebecca Nicole just said that her favorite one's the third one. That's amazing, and it just shows you, doesn't it? We're all different about which bits we like.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Wait, where are we? It's 2 audiobooks.
The fourth one was really good.
It's Will of the Many. I've heard it's really good. Wait, Will of the Many is what?
Yeah, who's that by? Who Will of the Many?
James Islington, I think.
Rebecca Nicole is reading that.
Is that a fantasy book?
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know much about it. I haven't read any of Islington's books.
Right. One of the things I want to get back into when I get back into fantasy again is I want to read my first Robin Hood book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I haven't read any Robin Hood yet. And
we're gonna read that too, right?
Yeah.
Do you have the Robin Hood or no?
I've got Ship of Fools, I think it's called.
Oh.
That's the one I've got. Which one have you got?
Yeah. Is it Mad Ship? Is that the one you have?
The Ship Traders series?
Yeah, Live Ship Traders. There's Ship. There's Ship.
I mean, I'm happy to get a different one. If there's a better one.
Ship of Destiny.
Which one should you start with, Chaz? If you're going to start Robin Hood.
What's that? Sorry.
Do you think there's a book that would be a good one to start with for Robin Hood?
Yeah, I mean, some people start with the Live Ship Traders. I think that's a good place to start. But if there are a few things that you won't exactly know what's going on unless you read the Farseer trilogy, the first one. So, Assassin's Apprentice, Royal Assassin, and Assassin's Quest.
Right.
Live Ship is by far the better series, in my opinion. But yeah. I'm currently reading her third series now, the Tawny Man trilogy, which follows after Live Ship Traders, and she's just a great writer. Yeah. Assassin's Quest, the last book in the Farseer trilogy, wasn't great for me. Like she could have cut out a lot of filler in that book, but overall, I've been really impressed with her writing. Yeah, she's really fantastic. Yeah.
So is that? Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I was going to say that Assassin's Quest series also is Philip Chase you watch Philip Chase at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Philip Chase had recommended to me to read that series because the relationship, there's a strong relationship with the dog, between the character and the dog.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So but I have two perfect copies of Assassin's Apprentice. So I send you one when I send you that other thing, Gareth, if you want to read that series.
Oh, right. Okay.
If you want a buddy read
Cool.
that one. I mean, I'll send it to you
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Are you? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, definitely.
We got to make a list of how many buddy reads we got.
But how many buddy reads we're not doing?
I think we have about 6 or 7 buddy reads planned right now. We got to make a list. But
Yeah.
you know, the buddy reads are really good because it gets me to read the things. You know, it keeps me disciplined.
Yeah.
You know,
I tell you what, you've just did, I don't know whether I should say this because it might be just something that I should just do, but you just popped an idea into my head because you just said about the fact that there's this relationship with a dog.
Yeah.
And for some reason it linked to something where one of the ideas that was like, I guess probably the 9th or 10th idea for this group of stories I want to write, it was about this lonely guy. It's like a pilot in a spaceship that's had to get away from civilization, society, or whatever, because he's been wrongly accused of something. So he's been on his own for ages, and he's like, and the idea was, what I wanted to write was that he's utterly frustrated by being on his own, very lonely, just kind of lost his will to kind of do anything in the day, like doesn't look after himself, all that sort of stuff, and then finds an abandoned ship out in like far reaches of space, and on this abandoned ship is a robot, like an android robot, and he just basically, because he needs it so much, kind of imagines it's a woman that becomes a companion, and then through the story you find out that it's not a woman, it's just an android that's not gendered or whatever, and he's just done that because he's so lonely. So that was the plan. But now I'm thinking maybe it'd be cool if it's a dog. And the dog, and it's like to be celebration of how he finds love again because dogs are awesome, and it's like there's like an android dog or something, not android, but robot dog in the ship.
Yeah.
What's the better idea?
I think the latter is the better idea, as long as you just give me a credit in there.
As long as the dog's called Olive, is that what you're saying?
What do you think?
But yeah, I mean, I thought it'd be nice to just explore loneliness and how someone they cure their loneliness through their imagination, if you like, and it's not actually a real companion, but they've just imported all that stuff they needed onto this robot. So that might be cool.
Almost like that Twilight Zone episode.
Which one?
The one where I forget the name of it. He's off on the he's exiled.
Oh yeah.
To the planet, and they
make
deliveries.
Okay, I'm nicking ideas from the Twilight Zone. Forget it then. Yeah, forget it.
No, but you're improving on it. Yours is more complex.
Yeah, he's not, and I suppose because that was the guy that was imprisoned by going off on another planet, and this person just had to go away so no one finds him. Oh. Yeah, and it's subconsciously being influenced, isn't it? That's what it is. Yeah.
Let's see here. Rick Nicole, I hear only good things about the Will of the Many. For Sean's stream, luckily I get quite a bit of downtime at work. All right. Have you read The Lions of Al Rassan?
Oh yeah, that's on my list too.
Oh yeah, what is that? It's fantasy?
It's another Guy Gabriel Kay book, the guy that wrote Tigana. It's kind of a low fantasy, more of a historical fantasy.
Okay.
I haven't read it yet, but it's on my list.
Is it quite new, that one? Is that quite new, Chaz? The Lions of
Lions of Al Rassan, I think it's been out about 10 years or so. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's definitely not a
Oh,
new book, but it's quite popular.
okay.
right.
So
Yeah.
Elaine's getting some some horror mayhem.
Yeah. The Haunted Canada. Yeah, she was talking about the Haunted Canada thing in. She had a live stream was it with Dave and with Al and Greg, I think, wasn't it? Was it? I think she was
Oh,
talking about
did they
it.
have one?
I
Oh, I
think
must
I think
have
they
missed
had
it.
Elaine on that.
Oh, I must have missed it.
Yeah, I think so.
Jenny, I'm really liking it. It's fast paced. Lots of reveals, which is different than read. Cool. Cool. Yeah, they're GGK bucks.
Cool. So we need to look into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to read the second Mistborn book because the first one's amazing, and I read it ages ago. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
the first.
Mistborn's good. I'm almost done with the second Mistborn series, and I like it a lot better than the first.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Something about it. It just really works for me. Like I enjoyed the first Mistborn trilogy, but I don't know, the Mistborn Era 2 is just a whole lot better for me. I really click with the characters, and I think a lot of people, the determining factor of whether or not they like Mistborn Era 2 for a lot of people is whether or not they like Wayne. Because Wayne's humor is kind of annoying, like to a lot of people, but I love
Ah,
Wayne's humor. So I'm just
yeah,
every
I
time
didn't
Wayne's
notice that.
on the page, I'm like, okay, Wayne, what have you got for me this time?
Yeah.
See, I've
Yeah.
also
Go
sorry.
on. No, go on.
I've also only read the first Mistborn book,
Yeah, Empire.
visual book. But that's because Gareth and I are going to buddy read book 2. So
Nice.
Yeah, it's also,
yeah.
Adding that to your list.
Sorry.
Adding that to your list of buddy
Yeah.
reading.
I really enjoyed it, but the first book was like, it wasn't short. It was like 550 pages or something, and then the second book was like 750 pages. So I needed to take a break, and it's one of those ones, like so many of these things. I took a break and just haven't gone back to it yet. But
Yeah.
well, I tell you, the first one didn't feel long though, did it?
Yeah,
no,
it didn't feel too long.
It felt like it wasn't. It didn't feel like there was much padding in it. Sometimes with a long book, you just think, well, that 100 pages I've just read, what was that about?
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like that.
yeah, no,
Because actually, I love 22 11 63, 11 22 63, 22 11 63, 11 22, whichever way around it is. I love that book. It's my favorite King book, but you could take 200 pages out easy.
Yeah. Do you like
You know.
sieges?
Which one?
Do you like sieges?
Sieges. What's
Yeah.
that?
Like like laying siege to like a castle or whatever. Like
oh,
planting your army.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah. So
And I think
the
go on.
almost the entire book of the second Mistborn book, almost the entire book is a siege. So you have to like sieges.
really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I like the Game of Thrones siege.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I love
didn't
everything
read
about Game of Thrones.
I didn't read the books, but
Oh, the books are brilliant. Oh, yeah. My favorite series of all time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's on the list. It's on the list. That's one of those few I always try to read before I watch, but that was one of those few. My wife and I have trouble settling on something that we're both interested in watching that we can watch together. So we were both willing to watch that, so we did. And but I'll tell you what, I didn't love the way that series wound up, like I think a lot of people, but I'll tell you what, though, that episode where the undead army was laying siege to the combined good forces, whatever you would call them, on that, that was one of the most stressful hours of TV that I've ever watched.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's a few moments in that series like that. There's a through proper tense moments.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like that. Oh, do you like? It'd be nice to have a Game of Thrones chat actually, but there was the moment when they burned that girl alive. That was horrible.
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah, because I haven't read the books. I've got all of the books in the loft. Very scary, big tomes. But I absolutely love the series. Love the series.
Yeah, that scene is right up there with the Red Wedding as some of the most horrific stuff on TV. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like because it really lingered on it as well. It was like this is actually really nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it. I tell you what, I don't know which bit that you didn't like, whether it's the way that the traveling didn't make sense or anything like that. But if it was Daenerys like burning the city or whatever,
Yes.
I think there's loads of hints that she would do that through the whole series.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think it makes more sense that she did that than she wouldn't have done that.
Oh, I don't
But
know.
those people, it seems to be divided. Because people I personally know think the way I do, but there's loads of people on the internet that say no, she shouldn't have been like that.
Well, I don't know what I'm talking about because I haven't read the books, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of that comes from like people having mixed, you know what I mean, like a mixed perception.
Yeah, it could be. It could be my ignorance. It could be that she is more innocent in the books, maybe, but definitely there's in the series. There's definitely moments where she's a bit psycho, and you go, okay, she's clearly not quite as.
Because I was suggesting the opposite because I didn't get that from the show at all. When that happened, I was like, that just kicked off a sequence of like people would never act this way and never. There was like those last couple episodes. It was like so I say this all the time. Like when you're reading fantasy, science fiction, everything like, you often called upon to suspend disbelief. And I'm totally cool with that. I can totally suspend disbelief so you can have dragons and magic and all that stuff. The thing I have a problem with is when they ask you to go with people's behavior that is just unreasonable. Like people in that situation would just not act that way. And that's what that was just one thing. But Daenerys' behavior in that episode, I thought was one of those. I was like, what?
I mean, a lot of people think that, but I just thought it. I thought it made sense.
I kind of wondered if she's from the lineage of the Mad King, so you just and
they kept reminding us about that. They kept saying that was in her blood and all that.
Wait, sorry, so Chaz, you read the book, but didn't watch the show.
I did watch. I did both. I read.
Oh, you did both. Okay.
I read all. I read. Let's see. I read the first 3 books, and then I started watching the show from season 1 because I had already read the books that correspond to that season.
Yeah.
And then I finished reading the series before I finished watching the show. So, yeah, okay. I did both. And
is that what we were just talking about? Was that consistent with the book? With the books?
Well, it's hard to say because the book series isn't finished.
Oh, it didn't get to that. The books didn't get to that.
It didn't get to that point. Yeah, like after season 5, they pretty much took off and did their own thing because the books aren't finished.
Right.
So I have a feeling that George R. R. Martin may do that differently. He's already said he has a completely different ending for the books than the show did. So I'm excited to.
I wonder if that's going to be a backlash that it got because I would have thought the way they would have done it was they would have asked him for a story outline. I would have thought.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then they would have written whatever he gave. And then when everyone went, "What have you done to your series?" He's like, "Well, that wasn't my ending." Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I can imagine that's what he's done, and that's why he's spending so long to write it because he's like, "Well, that was my ending, and now I don't know what to do." You know.
Right. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are thinking is that he had to rewrite the ending, but he says he's had a different ending for the longest time, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I still like the show though. Like it's one of my top favorite shows of all time. House of the Dragon is equally as good or
Yeah, that's
better,
brilliant.
honestly.
Well, it's like me and Dave often talk about Lost, and the ending of Lost is bad. I absolutely don't like the last season, the entire season of the last season of Lost, but the rest of it is incredible, absolutely incredible. And I don't think you should ignore what's good, even if it's got a bad ending. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually liked the ending of Lost. I really did.
Yeah.
Really?
I love the ending of Lost, and
Love.
I love it.
That's a strong word, Chaz. You loved the ending
I
of Lost?
did. I loved it. I thought it was great. But then again, I don't mind ambiguous endings. So you know, it was kind of left open to interpretation.
First Foundation, and now this.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because it's not for me, Chaz. It's not about the ambiguous ending. I mean, again, we could have a whole special show about Lost. We were talking about it, weren't we? We were going to rewatch it all, weren't we?
Yeah.
But for me, I just think the entire last season, when they're just going on and on and on about the black smoke and Jacob, it's just completely forgetting about everything else that happened. It's like none of that needed to happen. All the stuff that happened before. Whereas up to that point, it all followed on from each other. Do you know what I mean? That's how I felt about it. That it was just completely like totally new.
Yeah.
You know. And Jacob was already in it. It was always in it, but it wasn't. But once they started going on about a temple and stuff like that, and there's these other characters in it, it just seemed to be nothing to do with the rest of it.
Yep.
And I was like, "What's going on? What's this about?"
Yeah.
And why isn't Saeed still cool?
Yeah, I've watched Lost 3 times. Love it.
The whole series you watched 3 times?
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna watch it again at some point. It's great, and so yeah. But yeah,
the last time I watched it with my son. It was so good watching it with him because I knew what was going to come next, and he was like, "I've got to watch the next one. I've got to watch the next one," and it is like that, isn't it?
I started to rewatch it with my kids. Maybe I think it was last year. I started to watch it with them because I wanted to introduce them to it because my daughters are all, one is about to turn 18, the other 2 are about to turn 24. So they're, they basically knew nothing about it. So and we watched like 3 episodes and they said they liked it, and then they didn't want to go for it. And it turns out they just watched it because it was either Father's Day or my birthday. So they just watched it. They had no interest in going any further. Nice. They sat through it that day.
Yeah, it's like when I have my birthday, I don't think I can do it this birthday because it's I don't think we'll be together. But when I could get my kids in front of the TV, I go, right, it's my birthday, we're watching Farscape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dave,
did you
yeah, go ahead.
so I lost it. I was going to ask you
Farscape?
No, it wasn't Farscape. Although it's nice to talk about Farscape, it wasn't that. No, carry on. Oh no, I know what it was. No, Cliff does these regular chats, doesn't he, on a Sunday? Cliff Stark Jen, and he had Kat on his show, and I subscribed to her. I didn't know her channel before he chatted to her, so I subscribed because of the chat. Kat's something adventures or something. Really cool channel. But she was talking about The Walking Dead a lot.
Okay.
And I need to ask Chaz if he likes The Walking Dead.
I do. Yeah. I've never been.
I was worried you were going to have strike 3 right there.
I've never really been big into zombies, but The Walking Dead, like I'm all about it for the characters. The characters are just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a great series. Like King Ezekiel, man, I tell you, I love King Ezekiel, him and his big tiger, and oh man, yeah, there's just some really, really great characters in that show. I have not I've not caught up with it yet. I think we're on season 10. So
Okay.
yeah, I and then of
Season
course
10
I
is
got
weirdly my favorite season, which is weird, isn't it?
yeah, and I guess and I guess they've got this new Survivors miniseries that they're going to do, like the Walking Dead
There's about
Survivors.
there's about
They're bringing
3
Nick
series
back
that
and stuff.
have either just come out or coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So
can't see some of them over here, weirdly. They're not
what's that?
letting us see the Negan one or the Rick and Michonne one. We
Oh,
can't see that in
really?
Britain.
You don't have the
Yeah.
AMC. You don't have the AMC streaming service over there.
No. And it's really popular over here, so I don't get it. I don't understand why they're not letting us see those series. It's
Yeah,
really
that's
odd.
weird.
But I absolutely love The Walking Dead. Really love it. Really, really
Yeah,
love it. And I
yeah.
didn't.
I've
Some
really
people,
enjoyed it.
some of my friends were like, "Oh, I don't watch it anymore because I don't like it as much as it the first 4 seasons or something." But I never felt like any of the seasons got weaker. I think season 2 is a bit slow, but I think that's the only season where it slows down a bit. I think I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, 2 is a bit slow, and I was not I was not totally happy with the final season.
Yeah,
I didn't like the way I understood why it ended because they were segueing into the multiple spin-offs. But
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't an ending. Like it just
Well, I
like
suppose it
last
was an
episode
ending
kind of ended.
in the
But
sense that they were going to a new
yeah,
period in their lives
it
anyway.
was like, okay, you go off and do that thing, and I'm gonna go walk this way, and it was like it just like the episode just kind of ended, but there was no big conclusion to it, which I get because they had the spin-offs.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
no, I'd say more than that. If they had a conclusion, it'd be a bit weird because the one thing about that world is that it never stops.
Yeah,
The zombies they'll either cure everyone and the zombies aren't there anymore, or the
yeah,
zombies are going to be a constant problem. So
yeah.
that's the only way they could end it, really, isn't
I,
it? By them splitting off.
I
So
think a lot of people, a lot of the audience quit after Negan showed up, because it was like too excessively violent for them or something, and like
yeah,
I,
it's quite funny because before that they were all excited about him appearing, weren't they?
yeah, right, and I mean that was tough television to watch, but it was I personally I think Negan is the greatest character in the series,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
And
yeah,
he's a genuinely nice guy, like night and day from the character he played, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I remember my buddy that watches it with me, he told me that he had watched an interview with the actor, and he was talking and some of the cast was saying like how he would be profusely apologizing to people like after they did a take for the things he had to say for the
yeah,
show, like
yeah.
especially the way he would treat women. He's like, I'm so sorry, I just want you to know I didn't mean anything.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a
No,
genuinely nice
it's
guy
so much
outside
to
of
it.
that role.
If we did a rewatch of The Walking Dead, there'd be so many scenes that we'd go, "Oh my god, this episode's coming up," or "Do you
Yeah,
remember that bit when that happened?" There's so many of them.
yeah.
You know,
Right.
you
Let
know.
me catch up
Don't look
here.
at look at the flowers. Obviously, look at the flowers.
Right.
That's like
That
not
was
Penny's boat. Isn't
yeah, that was disturbing.
it? Yeah.
The Rook by Daniel O'Malley came out in 2012. The sequel in 2016. I knew I need book 1. Oh, that's when we were talking about having to go back and reread the first book. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Weird Sisters and really
Weird
loving it.
Sisters, practice.
Yeah. I've heard Weird Sisters is good too.
Short
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
good. 3 came out. Still not go back to them. Love short chapters. Yeah, we're behind again here. Word Sisters, my Nest Discworld.
That's Weird Sisters. Yeah.
I need to start that this year. I really need to start it.
Yeah. See what you think. I think
That
practice consistent. I think either you like him or you don't. I mean, mind you, you said this. You have a mixed bag in it for you, Chaz. So maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay though. I mean, I do want to read more. It's just
yeah.
it's not high on my priority list, I guess.
Yeah, Heidi. I think a lot of people say. I think half people say to start with the Color Magic, and half people say start with Guards. Right?
Yeah. Guards is really good. It is really good. and
Yeah,
it's a completely different pace. It's like bang, 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 bang. Whereas Color of Magic is more world building.
Mm-hmm.
No. Telling me on the phone that he just turned in book 10 of the series and he really wanted to stop writing those and do something else.
Yeah. But then I reckon that's like any creative person gets bored of what they're doing sometimes, and then they get a moment where they get excited about it again. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's just, you know, writers.
Well,
So is he saying he talked to Terry Pratchett?
that's
on
what
the
it sounds
phone?
like.
Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah.
I'm
Dave
like-
knows some people. Yeah, he's someone in the biz.
Okay, nice.
Gareth, have you read Gwyn's The Bloodsworn?
No, I need to catch up on some of the recent fantasy stuff.
Yeah, I need to start reading John Gwynn. Period. I haven't read any of his books.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got it's like so many. I've got a little bit of it up there, but haven't touched it yet.
John Gwynn is it kind of like militaristic fantasy? Is it?
Yeah,
That's fine.
I think it's more militaristic. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's.
I like kind of like one of the things I love about Kings of the Wild. It reminds me a bit of why I love Fafel and Grey Mouser stories. They're kind of like small stories about cheeky characters. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of like I love fantasy that's a bit like that.
Yeah.
So if it's like an entire war with different lands fighting each other, then I'd probably get into it, but maybe not as much as the smaller stories.
Hmm.
You know.
Different book. Oh, you got to give it a try, William.
Yeah. Write it.
Right.
Steve would say, write it. He says we all should in order to give back to a community that's given us all so much. Yep. I was talking to William.
Yeah.
First the Bloodsworn books nonstop. Only put it down when my son came home from school. Didn't like it. My other half hated it. Huh.
What is that? Do you remember what that is?
The Gwyn stuff, I'm assuming, right?
Well, maybe.
I don't know. Still don't think I'd be brave enough to write or publish anything, though. This book's Record of the Spaceborne Few. Which number was that?
Oh.
Was that the one that you were talking about?
That's number 3. I thought that's the weakest one.
Okay.
It's quite different. If you like, it's like from what I remember, it's more of a family thing, and like I think it's like a family on a spaceship. I think so. It's got a different feel to it. It's more like I say
kind of like
DS9
sci-fi.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She is anyway. Yeah.
Start with Assassin's Apprentice. There we go. Read in order. Manship right now. Oh my god, great.
All the wide ship books are really good.
It'd be nice it'd be great if if I think Robin Hobb is fantastic, because it'd be nice to discover a new author to get excited about.
Yeah. I'm excited to try her. Doesn't buddy reading cause more pressure though? It does, but it makes you get stuff done. I like it.
It's nice to share it. It's nice to talk about a book with someone.
Yeah. It does depend on who you read with. That's true, because some people are like, okay, we have to read this many chapters this day, and so it depends on how flexible the buddy read is.
I've done 2 buddy reads, right? I'll tell you what. So they're not particularly successful buddy reads. So the second one's Dave, so you'll know where I'm going to go with. But the first one, the first buddy read was Ollie from Criminally, and he read his book in about 4 minutes, and I was still like on chapter 3 a week later, and I just thought this ain't really a buddy read, So that was a bit of a shame. I can't remember
that guy is a serious powerhouse when it comes to reading. He just flies through books. I don't know how he does it.
He's one of those ones he reads when he's brushing his teeth. He's like,
yeah. I reckon he does it when he's working. It's like I bet his boss is like, "Can you stop reading?" He's like,
he's like a guy. He's like Bemis from Time Enough at Last.
Henry Bemis, yeah. Turns out I named my band after Ollie. So that was the first buddy read, and the second buddy read was a book called The Female Man by Joanna Russ,
which we both DNF'd because it.
Which we both DNF'd.
I've heard of that one. I've never read it, but
it's a very important book, but we didn't like the way it's written. And to be honest, I read something recently, and Dave, there was another. It was a completely different book, different author, and there was a chapter that was a sentence, and I was like, oh, sod off. A chapter, there's a sentence. What's the matter with that?
Elderlings edition.
I'm not happy when they do that.
Oh, a Realm of the Elderlings edition of this thing on. I had to read it first. Couple weeks ago. Oh, that's the open mic. I'm sorry, Lane. I missed that. I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't
it's really
remember
good.
that was
It's
happening. I'll have to go back and check that out. Library Ladder posted some excellent videos about.
Oh,
okay.
Yes. Yeah. If you guys haven't watched the Library Ladder, he's got some really great videos.
Yeah, I nip into him sometimes. He's isn't the Library Ladder the guy with the really strange voice that sounds like it's an AI?
The narrator voice. Yeah.
It's really weird. It sounds like he's like filmed it and then done a vocal over the top of it and then put loads of filters on it. And I don't know what he's done. It's like, I am going to tell you something very important.
Yeah.
All right. Just tell me then.
And I've seen him on some live streams though, and he really sounds like that.
I like that. It actually is his voice. That's probably freaked out the people on live stream. They thought it would be, oh, we'll find out what he really sounds like. And he's like, hello, this is actually my voice. Who knows what Jim actually sounds like? Hey,
I was gonna say the way your rendition of it sounded a lot like your rendition of Jim.
I've only got two voices, mate.
Tyrion's speech at Blackwater. Which one was that?
Oh, that was quite early on, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was which one?
Yeah, in Game of Thrones.
Right. Which one?
That's the end of season 1, isn't it? Is that the end of season 1?
The Battle of Blackwater Bay, I think, is in season 2.
Is it?
I think. Yeah. Yeah, Tyrion's got some great lines just in general, though.
Yeah.
There's a reason they made a whole coffee table book called, of Tyrion Lannister quotes. But I can't remember what it's called right now. But yeah, there's a coffee table book you can buy out there that's all Tyrion Lannister quotes. The wit and wisdom of Tyrion Lannister. That's what it is.
Yeah, he was my absolute. Is he everybody's favorite character?
One of them, I'm sure. He's mine.
Yeah, definitely one of them.
Mine for sure.
Yeah.
Should not have liked. No, she should have not.
See, I was a big fan of Daenerys, but I might have been just biased.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Daenerys too. Yeah, I wanted
I like
the throne.
I think I'll watch anything that he's in, to be fair. I even watched that film called Last Christmas. Really enjoyed it, but it's not a particularly good film. But, watched her for a couple of hours. It was cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard of it. I haven't seen it.
It was like a rom-com based around Wham songs.
Oh, okay.
What's up? But, she did Rogue One, right?
No.
That wasn't her?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. No, she's in Han Solo. She's in the Solo film.
Yeah, she was in that. Yeah, she was also in Secret Invasion. Yeah,
yes, she was. Which wasn't great, was it? But
it wasn't great, but it was okay. It was entertaining. Just I thought it was kind of lackluster.
Yeah. As far as those shows go, it was one of the weakest, I think. But definitely. And she was in one of the Terminator films as well, wasn't she? Which I haven't seen yet. I think she was in the one where they just ignored 3 and 4 and just did a sequel to Terminator 2, which I think is hilarious. They're like, filmmakers go, we're going to ignore the canon. Hey? I don't know what it's called. What one was that called? Terminator. Can't remember, but she was in that, wasn't she? Did she play Sarah Connor?
I don't remember. I haven't seen the movie, but I remember seeing stuff about it. But
yeah, I haven't seen it because I just thought it was a bit weird that they just ignored the other films. Um,
She was wielding those dragons like weapons of mass destruction.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could definitely see a trajectory of madness towards
yeah,
the
that's what I thought. That's how I felt about it.
Nice.
Well, I just think because there's such an outcry of the series, I think he's been put into a state of, well, what do I do? How is this going to get received?
Yeah.
And I just have a bit of sympathy for him because everyone attacks him for not, oh, we haven't finished the book. But I think it's just a really unique situation where there's been a TV adaptation that has finished the story, and he's got to write these books that finish the story. And it's like, well, the story's been finished, you know. So it's really, I think it's really hard for him myself. Maybe I'm too sympathetic.
But I
Maybe
mean,
too nice.
it's not like he didn't have a really long time to
Yeah.
finish the story,
But I just feel like he should have done it before.
Yeah.
He could have put the series on hold and said, look, I'm going to write it and then we'll do the end. Because now they've done it, it's put him in a funny position, I think.
Yeah, it really has. Yeah. Yeah, they just kind of took it and ran with it.
Yeah. And I'm absolutely certain that they used his outline. I don't think they would have ignored him completely. So what everyone's complained about, or the internet's complained about, not my mates, but the internet's complained about, is his original idea. So he's bound to be like, what do I do now? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's probably true.
I do think that the final ending with I won't spoil anything, but the person that actually ended up sitting on the throne at the very end of the series, I think that probably is his original idea.
Really?
I just have a gut feeling that it is. It kind of brings things full circle because it started with Ned with Eddard, and then it ends up. I think
it also starts with him having that horrible fall from the tower as well.
Yes,
and
but he's kind of the
so much
underdog.
So much for non-spoilers.
Well, yeah.
Chaz just said I don't want to spoil it.
Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, plug your ears, everybody, or kill me later.
But also, I reckon if that's not how he ends up, I feel like that character's a bit pointless as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was the way they. See, I was angry at that. I thought that was stupid. But it might be because of the way they did it. They ended up having like just a group of nobodies like saying, "Okay, sure," and that might have been.
Well, I think it's a fair criticism to say it was rushed. I think they could have done made it slower, the build up. I think the events is how we intended it, and I think a lot of it made sense. But I think it would have made more sense if it was done slower and over a longer period of time.
Yeah, I think once we get to that point, I think he's definitely going to make a much better story out of the ending, whatever it ends up being. So,
I mean, do you really think he's going to finish?
I'm
not being funny. I mean, he's got like so many irons on the fire. It doesn't seem like he's ever going to finish. I mean, he's not a spring chicken.
I think we're going to get book 6. I'm more doubtful about book 7, the final book. I'm questionable on book 7, but I think we will get book 6. Yeah.
He might be aware of that himself. He might write the end of book 6 that makes sense if he doesn't do book 7, might he?
That's a good point.
He might do a thing where he ties up some loose ends and knows there's other things he needs to finish book 7, but he's tied up some things in book 6. He might do that.
Yeah.
Or he could surprise us because all this time he's been doing book 6 and 7 together and just going to release them both. I doubt that. I highly doubt.
I'll tell you what, though, the fact that he's doing stuff in that world, but hasn't done those 2 books, I think tells you that's the reason why he hasn't done those 2 books, because all the pressure to do the right ending. Because he loves that world. He keeps writing more stuff and working on the House of Dragon series and stuff. So I don't think it's that he's just fed up with the world. I think it's that there's loads of pressure to write the correct ending.
Sure. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
So
Yeah.
Brian's comment is pretty astute there. I think that's might be true.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
Janice.
Yeah. Brian's a historian. Yeah.
mean,
It's interesting. Yeah. He did draw a lot from history, didn't he, when he wrote it? So
yeah. Someone had to like the ending of Lost. I'd rather they had they had ended. I'm with you for once, Gareth. Once they lost the thread of where they were going and started simply making it up, it died. You know, I say this every time. I say this. No, go ahead. Go on.
No, go on.
No, you go.
No, you go.
I've already said what I was going to say, which I say every time we bring up Lost.
I was going to say about 3 words. Go on.
They had 3. It wasn't an unplanned, like it wasn't like a rushed cancellation. They had 3 years to wrap that up, and I can't believe they did that. That's all I had to say.
What Lost? What, the last episode or the last season?
Well, I mean both. Both.
Well, it's weird because I saw one of them. I can't remember which one it was. Talking about the last episode. And obviously, they emphatically said over and over again, if you watch those kind of interviews and documentaries, they said that they're not dead. It wasn't that they had been dead all along, you know, because a lot of people thought that.
Yeah.
But they wanted this. They said, we just wanted to create a narrative where they're all together at the end. And it's just like such a naff thing to want to do, you know. Why do you want to put everyone in there at the end? What's that about? Why is that so important? You know, but
wait,
but
yeah, Chaz is going, well, it's cool. What's the matter with you?
I hadn't read that. They were saying that they weren't dead.
Yeah. I've seen it lots of times. That it's not the message of the last episode is not that they were dead all the time.
Oh no, I get that, but they're dead now.
yeah. There's some sort of weird kind of concept where when they do die, there's some people waiting for them that died in a different time.
Yeah,
and they're still there.
Oh, I had never interpreted that as them being dead when they were on the island.
Oh no, loads of people have said that. Loads of people say, "Oh, it's a crap ending because they're all dead." And it's like, no, that's not what's happened.
That the whole time they were on the island that they were dead.
Some people have translated the last episode like that. I've heard it.
I never heard that actually. I guess I didn't read much, but I didn't hear. And I never interpreted.
This is just like in conversations with people. Do you know what I mean? When they talk about it and they go, "Oh, I can't believe they did that at the end," and they'll say what they thought they did, and I'm like, "No, that's not what they did." You know.
Yeah. I mean,
they were the ending, but that's not what they did.
We're like super spoiling now, but I guess that's okay. We're I mean, they were like. I just assumed they were dead throughout that whole pretty much that whole all those when they were like meeting up in that whole last season when they were meeting up and in that sort of alternate.
I think at that point, at some point, they were probably dead.
Yeah,
and they were just kind of wrapping everything up. But yeah.
Right.
Oh, what in the side timeline, those bits.
Yeah, like at the last season, they had that whole alternate timeline, right? Where like you know, Jack meets the guy that had been running the temple, and Jack had a son, and they meet at the temple, and that guy had a son. They were there for a concert, you know, and like Kate they start finding each other. Like Kate finds Jack, you know, and she's like, "No, that's not where you know me from." You know what I mean? At that point, like I viewed that as them. This is way like in the future, long after they're all dead, and they're finding each other now in the afterlife, you know, basically. But I only viewed that as, you know, them no longer being alive anymore. I viewed their whole time like that the 5 seasons of time on the island as real time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and in the past, and they go back in time, and when they're trying to get the van working, that was real.
That was real. That was such a cool scene, though. I love that scene.
It's amazing. It was so joyful, and like they were so happy, and you're watching it with so much joy as well. There was a similar thing. I don't know if you've seen this, and we've just been talking about The Walking Dead. You know, Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched Fear the Walking Dead?
Not all of it, but a few seasons.
I
So you
haven't
might have
watched
seen.
the entire thing, but I've watched most of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've not seen the last season. I think there's one season 7, I think, which we got to pay for. So we're waiting for it to become free. But season 3, I think it was incredibly bleak. It was just like, oh my god, this is so depressing. And then there was an episode where they had tried to get a plane to work. Does this ring bells? They were trying to get to. There was like separated, and there was a bunch of them that were trying to get this plane to take off.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
and it had been
I
this
don't know.
relentless bleakness for ages and ages and ages. And they're like, oh my god, this is how am I'm going to stop watching this? It's like, but that episode when they got the plane to work was like just like the van in Lost. It was so joyful, and they were like over the moon that the plane had taken off. And as you watch it, you go, yeah, you know. So sometimes that kind of build up really works, you know, kind of worked for that.
Huh.
You know, kind of justified the depressing episodes that happened before it.
Have either of you guys read the Dark Tower series?
You know,
No.
I read like I have the first 2. I read half a Gunslinger, and now I got to restart. But I'm totally gonna read that in the near future.
Okay.
I'll end up.
Have you read the whole thing?
Yeah, I read the whole thing, and I won't say anything. I was gonna talk about that. So I will say that fans are really mixed on the ending of the Dark Tower series. So, but yeah, I won't say anything more. I'll just once you get there, find me.
Okay.
Talk about the ending.
Yeah, it's a very controversial ending, isn't it? Yeah, some people really hate the ending.
Yeah, some people do.
You haven't read those, have you, Garrett?
Fans like it. But...
No, I've got the first one in my collection, and I haven't bothered to get the others until I read the first one. Although some people say the first one is not as good as the rest of them anyway. Is that right?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's decent, but it's not the best. Yeah.
I mean, I will end up reading everything he's done, so I'm sure I'll get there eventually.
I mean, he wrote that. I mean, he was so young. I mean, he wrote that so long ago.
Yeah,
the first one.
Yeah, there's definitely moments in the Dark Tower where you're going to be like, man, he was really off his head with this one. Just
yeah, I guess sometimes he was.
So Dave makes a good point. I don't know if the only, but iZombie was indeed a good zombie show. I didn't.
I haven't watched that one.
It was a comedy, wasn't it?
Yes, sort of. Yeah, it was about a girl. It starts off with the main character. She goes on like a party boat, and there's an outbreak, zombie attack, like on the party boat, and so she gets bitten and she turns into a zombie. But she like just wants to live like a normal life, but she's a zombie. So she's got a partner at work, and she's got a boyfriend and everything, but she's just trying to be normal, but she needs to eat brains, So it's pretty good. Yeah. Actually, that's one of those ones. That one is like Star Trek Discovery, Gareth, where I will forever have a special emotional attachment to that because of this one right here. We binged a lot of iZombie when she was just a baby.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
So
yeah, well, it matters, doesn't it? It does matter.
She just you just lay in my lap. It's a little baby.
And actually, see, in a similar way, when I watched the first time I watched Babylon 5 when it was first on, so when it was first aired, I was watching almost all the time I was watching it. I had my sort of newly born daughter on my lap, basically. I used to watch it with her on my lap when give my wife a rest, sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, you do remember those things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. All right, let me get a job here. That was a good show, though. I liked it. Another one that I didn't finish, but not because I liked it. Just I'm sorry, just because I got busy. So he needed to be warged into a ghost. I'm not sure what that's a reference to. Ghost on the the Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
John strapped inside.
Oh yeah, so that's I'm glad she brought that up because I don't hear a lot of theories on what happens with with John at the end of book 5. But so you haven't read the books, Dave?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I can't say much, but yeah, I've got theories. Jenny, you and I'll have to talk. I've got theories about what happens at the end of book 5 with John.
He's got another series coming out, isn't he? They're doing a Jon Snow series, aren't they? Or has it been cancelled?
They canceled it, actually. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they decided not to do it. Which
I think I
I'm
think
kind of okay with.
I think all the streaming services seem to be like getting scared now in the like anticipation of all these mega mergers, and they're all like canceling everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and is it like the aftermath of the striking maybe as well? They've got new deals and they you know,
maybe
have to look at how they're earning money or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan will always be my John Winchester, although he's great as Negan. When was he John Winchester? What is that?
In Supernatural. Yeah, he was the dad.
Oh, okay. Okay. Quit The Walking Dead after Rick left. The Governor was the best villain, and that actor is super in Britannia. I haven't watched that show.
The Governor was a great villain. Got to say, he was a great villain.
Yeah.
But I think they did really interesting things after Rick left, though. I mean, Rick was the anchor of the whole series.
Yeah.
But they did good stuff after he left, though.
Yeah, that's true. Did.
I did like
3 times.
Oh, what's his name? Rick's like bosom buddy throughout a lot of this.
Daryl?
No, well, there's Daryl, but
Shane.
What's that?
Shane?
No, I'm thinking of the black guy. I can't remember his name though, right off the top of my head. He always carried the stick, you know, the fighting stick.
What was his name? Morgan.
Morgan. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, it was Morgan. Yeah. I really like Morgan. I thought after Rick kind of disappeared off the scene, I really liked the direction Morgan went, especially on Fear the Walking Dead once he appeared there.
Yeah, he does loads in Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah, it's very interesting what they do with him and that. Yeah. I mean, it's quite brave. Well, ambitious. Brave, not the right word. Ambitious what they do in Fear the Walking Dead with the whole nuclear weapons stuff and you know all that. That's like really like wow. Where are they going with this? You know, they could easily like take it into a place that they just get lost. But yeah, so far I think it's fine. And yeah, Morgan's done really well in that series.
Yeah.
Oh, so Elaine is a big fan of Supernatural, apparently. My comfort watch with I love Big Bang Theory. You guys watch Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, I like Big Bang Theory. Yeah,
I can watch Big Bang Theory. That's it's like Friends. I could watch those episodes 20 times and never get tired of them.
Seinfeld's like
I
that.
like with Cheers. I can do that with Cheers.
And Cheers, right? The same thing.
Oh yeah, Cheers is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I've rewatched that so many times.
Corner gas. What's that?
Don't know. Maybe that's a reference to Supernatural again. That's all right. Thank you, William, for
all right. Thanks. Well, you're probably gone already, but thanks.
Yeah.
Same happened with Brian Lumley when he turned in the third Necroscope book. He told me that Tor offered him $88,000 advance on books 4 and 5. Hard to turn down, right?
Wow. Yeah. Right.
You're right. I mean, you'll write about tulips if they're giving you $88,000 to do it, right?
Right. Oh my goodness.
No, I was talking about the only person who didn't like Becky Chambers' first book. Shen. Oh, that means.
Yeah.
Michael Lau sounds like a university lecturer, but he's one of the few booktubers I always watch. What's up?
Oh, yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, I always watch his stuff too.
He's got a great voice. Oliver's looking
it's funny.
adorable.
His voice puts me off because it seems fake to me. I mean, I know it's not, but it just feels weird to me. So if you're watching, mate, I'm sure you know. I apologize. I'm sure he doesn't watch it. I'm sure he doesn't watch it. But yeah, if the voice puts me off, it's weird. Yeah.
She's trying to tell me
I
something.
feel really bad now. I need to write him a message going, I'm sure a lovely man.
Might get a few comments on your channel tomorrow.
Yeah. What are you saying about my voice? Then we find out the real voice.
He's gonna have 3 new subscribers tomorrow. We're all gonna check him out. Season 8's ending could still work. Martin won't be rushing it like the showrunners. What's that about?
Oh, for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Jenny's saying that George Martin might have a lot of time to develop a different kind of ending.
Yeah, he'll probably do it better.
Much more go all scorched earth and have the White Walkers win. Maybe.
Yeah, that would be funny. That would be
some
hilarious.
That would shock people, wouldn't it?
Never did like Friends, really? That's one of those shows my whole family likes. It. Corner Gas Canadian comedy had a few seasons. Huh. Okay. We're caught up again.
I wasn't a big fan of Friends either. Sorry, Dave.
No?
Dave's just not going to like me by the end of this. That's what it is. He's just going to be well. I'm writing Chaz off.
I tell you what, this go on, Dave.
No, I was just going to say you did like The Walking Dead, so that saved you.
This might be a little bit weird, but in this country, day after tomorrow, it's all going to be about the Eurovision Song Contest. What do you guys feel about that?
Wait, what is this?
The Eurovision Song Contest. Do you know about that?
No.
You don't know about it?
No.
That's amazing. So it's not even talked about over there.
No.
So every year, I don't know how many countries it is, but every country in Europe competes like different songs to be like the winner of the Eurovision Song Contest, and is like months before it happens, all these different songs are plugged in these different countries, and on a Saturday night for like 5 hours or something, this huge show happens, and it's always set. It's always at the place that won the previous year. And in this year at Sweden, ABBA became famous because of winning the Eurovision Song Contest with Waterloo. There's a whole history of it, but you guys never heard of it.
No.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's happening Saturday night. So we've got family coming round. We're going to do a little chart on what we think of the songs. It's a little thing. We're going to get a takeaway. Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Just don't tell me you've never heard Taylor Swift. Well, I haven't actually. I haven't listened to Taylor Swift.
Oh.
Am I back in your bad graces over there?
No, but Rumpus is a big Taylor Swift fan.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about Taylor Swift a lot last time, didn't we?
He came on the show last time, started out telling us he didn't really like Taylor Swift. And by the time we were done, we found out he had every album, was in the fan club, and then he was like, oh, maybe I am a Taylor Swift fan.
That's great.
He did it again with something else as well, didn't he? I can't remember what it was, but there was, wasn't there?
Yeah, he did do it. That's what we do here on Is This Thing On? We help people learn about themselves, you know? Seinfeld is a show I can watch endlessly. Not sure how the hell I continue to laugh over Jerry mugging an elderly lady for her marble. Yeah. Seinfeld is one of those shows. It's got an episode for everything, right?
Yeah, it really does.
Episode for everything.
Yeah, it really. We watched we watch the I forget the actual name of the episode, but we watch the Festivus every year on December 23rd. Yeah. we have we actually have a Festivus poll and everything.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
My son got massively into It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
That's a good show.
It is really good, but it's really so funny because the first time I watched it, I went, "Well, this is just like a more like nastier version of Seinfeld."
Yeah,
It's
that's a
definitely
good one.
like influence, isn't it? It's really good.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of those on DVD. Actually, my I don't not the whole set because my wife got it for me when they were on like 5 seasons in. So I have like the first 5 seasons on DVD. But that's a good one.
Jenny's just written. She's just put up the funniest thing she's ever said.
Does that mean I'll discover that I'm really a 65-year-old balding man?
No, but she won't reveal herself on our program. It'll be on Sean's program. Sean doesn't get people
I
to
know.
learn about themselves,
I'm a
but we
little.
do.
I feel like I'm a little upset about that. I don't know.
Yeah. No, she has betrayed us in many ways.
I feel a
Yeah.
little slighted.
Oh no.
Elaine heading out. All right, thanks, Elaine.
Thanks, Elaine.
Elaine.
I'm waiting for Jenny's comment about us saying she's betrayed us. That freaks me out that you guys don't know the Eurovision Song Contest. Does anyone in the chat know about the Eurovision Song Contest? And there's a thing about we don't always do very well. We've won a few times, but England doesn't tend to do very well. Ireland does better. Ireland's won more times than England's won.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
yeah. But I think like Italy and Spain have won a lot. And I think Sweden's won a fair amount. But yeah, it's interesting. Should be a laugh.
can you guys hear that fire alarm going off?
Yeah, is that your house?
I don't know. Somebody's cooking something in there.
You're being very chilled. There's a fire in your house, Dave. Get out, Dave. That's commitment to our show, Chaz.
Are you okay?
He's so committed to this show that there's like flames all around his room. He's just gonna just like focus on the show.
Oh, now I see the whole.
Now it's stopped.
All the troops are coming down to deal with the alarm. This one, the poor thing, one time she gets so scared of these fire alarms that we seem to set them off fairly regularly. She gets so scared one time she opened the door and she ran outside and hid in the bushes.
Oh,
She's so scared of the fire alarm, right?
Yeah, they don't always get what's going on, do they?
Sean is a safer start. Haha. That's probably true. That's probably true, Jenny. That's probably true. Cheesy songs. It's not.
Yeah. There's some completely mad songs that you get. There was a song. There was a song a couple of years ago where it was like a dance number. It was like a full-on hectic dance thing about falling in love with Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, really? Wow.
Weirdest song. It was like from Poland or something. It was a completely mad song. So you get these weird things like that happen. It's always like if they come on and they look crazy, you think this is going to be a good one. It's a bit like that. Yeah.
They couldn't seem to figure out that fire alarm. How to turn it off.
But you're all right. You're safe. There is no fire.
Yeah. I often wonder if the place will burn down if I'm not here. It's jeez. So, well, guys, we're let's see here. The only time I ever voted was the year that Finnish horror metal band won.
Yeah, that was Rock Hallelujah, I think it's called, and it was what they're called. It's one of my drummer's favorite bands, and he goes to Finland to hang out with them now. What are they called? I can't believe I forgot what they're called. It was quite a cool song. It was like they all dressed up as like characters, and they came on and did this sort of it was like an anthemic rock thing. It was like sounded like I don't know, like the band Europe, that kind of thing. But the costumes were amazing, and they I can't remember if they won or not. Did they say they won? Yeah, they did win. Yeah. But I can't remember what they were called. it'll come to me in a minute. But yeah, they were quite cool. But it's just a funny. It's just a weird show. So it's always a good laugh to get together and watch it. Can't believe it's 2:30. It is 2:30 over in Blighty.
I think our producer has given us the signal here.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like most people have signed off at this point. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a few
we
more.
went for pretty good time here.
We forgot to tell Chaz that he's like not obligated to stay for like the whole ridiculous amount
I
of time.
was going to say you stayed the course, Chaz. It's awesome. Thank you so much for.
I'm just happy to be here. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. That's really cool.
So,
yeah, I'm glad we can make it work.
So yeah, guys, if you haven't, so I guess are we calling it? I guess we're calling it.
Yeah, we're calling it. What the death of the episode? Is that what you're saying?
The death of the episode.
That's what it always feels like, right? Because always still have people here, but I always feel bad about
Time
it.
of death. No.
Time of death. 3 minutes. No, sorry, 3 hours 35.
So yeah, so if you haven't checked out, there it goes again. I gotta go. So if you
are you making Friday sandwiches?
If you haven't, later, Brian, thanks for coming. If you haven't checked out Chaz's channel, again, it's Bookish Chaz. Definitely check it out. Great channel. And
thank you so much.
Really appreciate you coming out tonight. So, all right, wait, we got more here. Good night, then, boys. Thanks, Jenny.
Good night, Jenny.
Thanks,
Jenny.
Thanks,
everyone.
You for, everything you do back in the behind the scenes, sorting our show out. We really appreciate it, Jenny.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.